everybody, and welcome back to Crime in Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. Part 4 of Randall Woodfield. He's really on a roll now. Last where we left off, he's
oh boy,
man,
he's doing gross shit.
He has no cool down period at all. He's just all straightforward, a wild guy. Really, for like a serial killer, he's a different kind of cat. That's the weird part about it. We will pick up where we left off. He's in the middle of a horrible murder spree.
Bender,
all up and down the West Coast. So we'll get into all that. And before we do, though, shutupandgivememurder.com is where you go. Get all your merchandise there. Tons of stuff. All your tickets for Small Town Murder live shows, Seattle, D.C., Philly. And I think that's about it that's available at the moment. Oh, there's a couple left in San Diego as well. We released some of those there. So check that out. Shutupandgivememurder.com. You definitely, absolutely need to get Patreon.
For sure, yeah.
Patreon.com/crimeinsports, just like the name of this show. There, anybody $5 a month or above, you're going to get so much. Just so much. Yeah. First of all, hundreds and hundreds of bonus episodes immediately upon subscription that you'll get to binge on. New episodes every other week, one Crime in Sports, one Small Town Murder. And on top of that, you also get all 3 shows, Crime in Sports, Your Stupid Opinions, and Small Town Murder, all ad-free as well, all for $5 a month. Anybody $5 a month or above. It's as good as you can get here. So that's what we got. This week, what we're going to give you, by the way, for bonus episodes, we're going to do that Jeff Alm episode we missed last time. Sorry about that. Jimmy was dying.
It
wouldn't have been a good.
My family did.
Yeah, and then his dad died the day before he was sick, so we said, you know what, let's give Jimmy a break here, and you wouldn't have wanted to hear it anyway, because it would have been him hacking through the whole thing, and it would have been pretty gross. Crying and hacking. So we'll do that then for Small Town Murder. By popular demand, we weren't going to do it, but inundated with requests for the poop cruise. So we're going to talk about the poop cruise and a little bit of Titan submersible in there also. All right. Billionaires with the hubris to think they can make a weird fiber,
what's the point?
Carbon fiber bullshit and go to the bottom of the ocean with it. Stupid.
And why?
That's the point. That's because we're not billionaires. We don't understand that mindset. So that is patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all that stuff and more. That said, let's get to it. The asshole of the week, but we're spending some time with him. Yeah, this is our 4th episode, so he's the asshole of the month at this point. And we'll get right into this. We just left off. We left off. He's got a girlfriend named Shelly down in New Mexico here, and he's up in Eugene, though, and she's down there. He's sending flowers to her and doing all this crazy shit. Really, this girl thinks they're about to be married. You know, all of this stuff here. She, so much so that when we left off, she decided that they needed to be together, and she was going to withdraw from school and drive to Eugene in February of 1981. So
good time to run. Yeah,
that's nice. Now, at the same time that Randy has this budding long-term relationship, obviously, that I think they're going to live happily ever after. I don't know about you.
It's always good in the beginning.
I think
it's beautiful.
I think they're going to make it. I think these 2 crazy kids are going to make it. I really do.
Putting their genitals in their mouths.
Oh, just happily ever after.
Nice. Yeah.
White picket fence and genitals in the mouth. You know how that goes. So Randy needs a place to live. He moved back to Eugene, and he needs a place to live. So he found a room, just in an ad in the paper here, that we'll talk about. He finds a room. He gets a roommate. It's a woman with a 6-year-old son, a 29-year-old woman who's divorced. Sure. She has a 6-year-old son, and that's who he's going to move in with. All right. Now, it's $350 a month. And she pays that for the whole house. It's a 3-bedroom house. She pays $350 a month for.
Oh, and what a dream!
She's having a hard time making ends meet, and they have a 3rd bedroom that her and her son don't need, so they decide to rent it out. And rather than finding like some college girl or something like that, they find a serial killer to rent the room.
Get a grown-ass man. Yeah.
Let's get a grown-ass man with a horrible criminal record and all sorts of shit. Perfect. That's what I want around my son. Yeah. Now, it's real interesting. So anyway, he had gone, remember when he was talking to Shelly on New Year's Eve? He was just about to get a place and had to go pay his first month's rent. That was this, basically. So he moves in, and never told his parole officer that he was moving from Portland. He never tells her she's going anywhere. They just assume he's still there. So he just for a guy who like seems to not like to be in prison, he really doesn't make a lot of, you know.
Yeah, he doesn't
like a
lot
lot
of go along to get along.
Yeah, he's not really doing what he needs to do to stay out of prison. I would be so up on paperwork and like I got a call at this time. I don't want to go back to fucking jail. That's crazy. Right. So this guy, no. Now his roommate now, or the landlord, I should say, because she's the one collecting the rent from him. She said right away, I'm not looking for anything, any hanky panky.
Okay.
Not looking for any kind of sexual relationship or anything like that.
I'm not looking for a father for my kid. I just want a roommate.
And he was like, you're 29, and that came out of you, so no interest anyway. If you have a 16-year-old sister or something, maybe, but
holler at me.
You know, I don't need this at all. So he had no interest in her sexually whatsoever. So that worked out fine for everybody here. And he was like, perfect. Now, their whole thing is he tells her right away that, you know, I'm unemployed at the moment. I'm living on $90 a week unemployment, but I have money. Like my family has money and stuff. So you don't have to worry about your rent. I'll pay your rent. Any kind of bills I run up, phone bills, things like that. Got you covered. But, you know, just I don't have a job at the moment, basically. Mm-hmm. Now, she thought he seemed like a laid back guy. Didn't seem like a troublemaker. And he always makes a good first impression.
Great at it.
He's very good at making a good first impression. It's just
charming for a couple hours.
For a couple hours, and then it gets. Then you start digging. Yeah. He doesn't really have a lot of below the surface. It's a real thin layer of topsoil.
The surface, and it's ugly.
Real thin layer of topsoil, and then you're looking into it.
Then it's the roots.
Yeah, you're looking into the abyss at that point. So he told her, if anybody asks what I do for a living, just tell them I do bookkeeping for you. Ha. That was his joke. So she said, well, I don't really give a shit where you get your money as long as you pay your rent. So there you go. And you didn't seem like a criminal or anything like that. And he gets along great with the 6-year-old boy, too.
Yeah.
Oh, he plays ball with him and told him he was on the Packers and the kid's over the moon.
Yeah.
He thinks he's, oh, my God, I have this football player. He plays ball with all the neighborhood kids and shit.
Really?
All the kids and Randy running around out there throwing passes to everybody.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. He took the whole neighborhood, all the kids in the neighborhood, to see the Harlem Globetrotters one night.
Really?
Yeah, just had like a fucking Big Brother situation with the whole neighborhood. This is very weird. You know, it didn't molest any of them or anything.
Yeah. Is there anything cooler, like, for your heart than like a little guy just being like grab your hand and go play baseball with you? Like, do you know what I mean? Not like
Well, what?
Like at my friends' houses when their kid like hey, come do. There's nothing cooler.
Come show me. Yeah, okay, great, let's do it. Yeah, that's fun.
A friend of mine on 4th of July brought her kid to go watch fireworks with us, and the little guy grabbed my hand and walked me to go. I was like, this is the fucking sweet. My heart grew like the Grinch. It was amazing.
Stop grabbing adult men's hands. You're gonna have a.
There was a teaching moment there that I blew. I think
that's a teaching moment. Hey, buddy. This is sweet, and I'm not going to fuck with you at all, but...
Hey, little guy, I'm dangerous.
You grabbed the wrong hand, and you're going to need a lot of therapy. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm telling you.
Hey, little buddy, I wish somebody had told me this when I was your age.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep your butthole intact. Please help me. Jesus Christ.
Don't let strange men walk you around.
No, that's it. Yeah, my nephews, okay, that's fine. They know me pretty well.
Yeah.
We're related. I look sort of like their dad. It's all good.
That's so funny.
I saw him grab some guy's hand from the neighborhood. I'd be like, you fucking let go of that guy right now. What is wrong with you?
Luckily, she's a family friend. Everybody was all together, but it still was like, oh man, it warmed my heart so much. And at the moment, I needed it. My dad was still fucking warm. I needed that little moment. I think he knew it. I think the little guy was just like, oh, this poor fuck. Grab my hand, Jesus sir. I got you.
That is some sad shit.
It was.
Oh, so now Randy, though, he seems like the perfect roommate for this lady because he's never home. He's always gone.
Yeah.
She works 6 days a week, but when she's home, he's never there anyway. So she's like, great, he pays the rent. hangs out with the kids, does stuff, and I don't have to ever fucking do. Yeah, it's not like he's sitting there, staring at her while she's watching TV or anything. It's
right.
He took a lot of overnight trips, and he said if anybody calls, tell them I'm out looking for jobs.
I don't like the if anything. If this
anybody
happens,
asks
do this.
Say that. Yeah. If they ask this, say that. It's a fucking. That's a red flag right there.
Prepping me.
Also, if somebody calls at 11 o'clock at night, I'm going to go, he's out looking for jobs.
Yeah, right.
On a Friday night, 11 o'clock? Probably not.
I was going to say he's in bed. I'm not waking him up.
Yeah. So she said, I don't even know when the hell he has time to look for work, basically, because he's always got a bunch of shit going on. Randy, for one thing I'll give him, he's not lazy. Randy he's a hustler. Now, if he just applied that energy toward like work or a business or something, he'd probably be very successful, but he's got other wants and needs, as we know. But he does all sorts of shit. He plays for, he goes to the health club to work out all the time. He signed up to play basketball for some, local league that he's there. And he said, I'm going to be attending the University of Oregon in the spring.
Sure. Yeah.
So like, she's like, how the hell does he?
He's an old man too for that.
He's 29, but whatever, 30. So she also said, man, he seems to really live high on the hog, even though he gets $90 a week in unemployment. He really, yeah. She said that he would bring home like prime steaks. He'd bring home not just a case of beer. He'd come home with 3 cases of beer. He bought a $40 plant for the living room, which $40 in the 1981 is a lot of money.
A $40 plant? I wouldn't buy that
plant.
Today.
No, I'd be like $40. Is it weed? Does it have weed on it? Right. Is it growing drugs?
Produce things?
Yeah. If it's not growing drugs, I don't want this for $40. Look at how I could break this thing down.
Is it about to bud? No, I don't want it.
No interest in that whatsoever. Also, if his car was broke down in the shop, he would take taxis places and shit. This is not $90 a week behavior.
No.
So she didn't understand that. He even bought a radar detector. So cops don't, so he can detect his radar traps, which I think they were relatively new at the time on the commercial market. So, he would talk about Shelley all the time and said that he was going to send his girlfriend a round-trip plane ticket so he could come. He would always buy presents for Shelley and say, I'm shipping this out to Shelley and all this stuff. So he's always spending money and doing things but never making money.
Wow.
But she just figured that maybe he's a rich kid probably. That's what it is.
Who cares? Somebody's helping him. I don't give a shit.
Clearly he's got money.
We're not married. I don't care.
That's the other thing. She didn't give a shit. She was like, he's nice to my son. He pays the fucking rent, pays his part of the phone bill. Don't really care what he does outside the house. Not my problem. She also saw him, and this is weird. If you have like you move into somebody's house and they have a child, you would probably try to present the best face of yourself for them.
Yeah.
He snorts cocaine in front of her, which I would imagine, any good mother would be like, and you can get the fuck out of my house now. I'm not having drugs around my kid. That's ridiculous. Hard drugs like that. That's nuts. But no,
I mean, I wouldn't want somebody in my house that was just like leaving their Zin around.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this guy's fucking blowing lines off the coffee table.
Jesus.
Like, what's happening right now?
Wow,
that's interesting, man. So, and she knew that was especially in the early 80s. So 1981, it's very expensive at that point in time.
Yeah.
So she's like, that's super expensive. He'd go out to bars all the time and be out all night spending money, presumably.
Sure.
So, also, he's always on the phone. Always. Always. And it's always long distance. Most of the time, because he's corresponding with all these people he's collected over the years here. She said her phone bills would be enormous, like, as much as the rent, for Christ's sake, but he would always pay it. He always paid his part. So she's like, well, who the fuck am I to tell him not to talk on the phone?
It's not my problem.
He pays for it. So, she's just everything, the phone, the mail. He wouldn't leave the house until his mail was there that day because he had letters coming from people and he was sending letters, and really weird. And she noticed that he got a lot of letters from Shelley, but also from tons of other women all over the place. He'd get stacks of mail every day because he has this constant correspondence going on. So, his landlord here started to wonder what's up with, I thought he had a fiance that he was so devoted to all this type of shit. But she said, again, none of my fucking business. If he cheats on his fiance, I don't know this lady. It's not my sister or anything.
Not my pig, not my farm.
But then, again, this lady really is, if you pay the rent, I don't care what you do. She started to notice that he had a real thing for teenage girls.
Oh?
Cocaine and wants to fuck children. There's the door, number one.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, pack it up.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What are we doing?
Those are my monkeys. That is my circus.
That's my circus.
I want you out. Yeah.
I don't want cocaine around I don't want you to, fuck the neighbor girls, please, because then they'll blame me for that.
Do it.
But she said, in her words, what he did outside the house is his own business. This lady is.
What the Jesus?
He should marry her. He should marry this lady because she doesn't really care what he does. Like, this is the perfect wife for him.
I don't know if he needs to marry her as much as she needs to pull those blinders off and give a shit about, give a shit about things going on in her world.
I'm shocked she's divorced. I'm shocked whatever her husband was up to, she wasn't just like, that's fine. I don't care. Whatever
he does outside of the house.
That's not my problem. As long as he pays the rent, I don't care. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Then, but it ends up coming inside the house, and she's finally annoyed with him when she sees him coming on to her 16-year-old babysitter. Who's there to watch her 6-year-old.
She saw it?
Yeah. He's flirting with her right in the living room. I mean, he's not trying to hide it. A few weeks after he had moved in and, she saw the whole babysitter flirtation situation here, she came home and found Randy in bed with the teenager, with the 16-year-old.
God dang.
Well, that's instance number 3 of get the fuck out of my house at this point.
Absolutely.
She's expressed her disapproval, according to the Ann Rule book, which is that disapproval should have been massive. Like, that should have been a freak out, banging pots and pans, the fuck out of my house disapproval, not just.
Did she spritz him with the water bottle and say no?
Is
that all?
No, Randy.
Yeah.
Stop. The neighborhood teenagers, you don't diddle them. No.
That's a no.
No. She even said, look, I'm going to take the girl home. And he said, no, she doesn't want to go home, and then slammed the door in her face of his bedroom. I was like, whoa.
Oh, my God.
So that's wild. So this girl developed a thing for him because she's 16 and he's 30, and I'm sure she's got some problems or some issues. And, she's looking at him as some sort of, answer to all this shit. So the landlord found the babysitter and Randy naked about 4 more times when she was supposed to be babysitting. That's the thing. Boy. This isn't after the babysitting's over. This is like her own. She's on the clock while she's fucking Randy.
Oh, boy.
Or he's molesting her, however you want to put it. Yeah, that's probably more accurate. So this lady, I mean, even in a commerce way, she's not like, look, I'm not paying you to be molested. Yeah. I'm paying you to watch my goddamn kid.
At that point, it's just being stupid, right? Willfully.
Yeah, this lady is very easygoing, and I don't know if she's maybe not good with confrontation or what it is. But then she talked to the girl, the landlord did, and found out that they hadn't had actual intercourse. There's no actual penetration happening here.
Okay.
Because remember, Randy was like that with that.
He loves blowjobs.
He loves blowjobs and tits.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's like that with his fiance. And she thought it was charming. So I'm like, oh, he wants to wait till we're married because he's such a
that thing's
gallant.
He likes your mouth.
He's very gallant is what it is. So she tried to convince Randy to leave this babysitter alone, too. She's like, why are you doing this? She even talked to Randy, and she said, why do you bother with her? She doesn't even give in to you. She doesn't even fuck you. Why are you?
She's also a child.
But that's not what she brings up. She says, she doesn't even fuck you. Why are you messing with this girl?
Yeah.
Which Randy was probably like, but you'll fuck me, right? No, but no, she doesn't. A couple times he brought women home with him from the bar. One time he brought home 2 young hitchhikers.
Good Lord.
Dude, now you're just bringing in street people? Like, you don't know them.
There's a 6-year-old in the house.
There's a 6-year-old here. You're bringing in hitchhikers into my fucking house and doing coke and everything else. This is crazy. He just picked them up off the street, brought them home. She thought one girl looked about 16, and the other one said she just turned 20. But, I mean, who knows?
She didn't.
Who knows? He took the girls into his room for several hours.
Yeah.
And then told the landlady he was leaving to drop them off at Lane Community College because they had an evening class that night. So
and they're full.
Wow, all full up. Some other woman, a pretty dark-haired woman in her early 20s, which, hey, Randy, look at you.
Good for you.
Legal and everything. She said that Randy walked in with this woman at 11:30 one night, and she said, she left them alone and went to bed. But she said she woke up and it was after 3 a.m. and she heard the TV going in the living room, and she looked for Randy and couldn't find him. He just was gone, even though he left the TV on in the living room and shit like that. He came home the next day, and she didn't ask anything about the girl because it wasn't any of her business.
Yeah.
It's one thing if he's bringing women home and fucking them. I mean, that's fine. You can't tell somebody not allowed to have a social life. You know what I'm saying? That, especially in like 1981. I mean, we're still in chest hair medallion days here. This is people bring home people from bars back then. It's just the way it works. Yeah. But I would say at least maybe she thought it was getting better because they weren't 16. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, at least she's meeting him in bars and where people where adults go.
That's exactly. Yeah. There's fewer high school students in bars than in most places.
Feels like that scene has been dried up, right? That's done, right? That's not happening anymore, right?
You're asking me? I have no idea what people are doing. I'm married. I have no fucking clue. No clue.
I haven't.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like people are picking people up in bars in the same volume that it used to have.
Doesn't seem like it does anymore.
Yeah.
There might be.
I'm sure there's people that are a mess.
There's definitely a crew of people that still do it, but
there's a mess. People are messy still out
for
there.
Sure. But it's not near as prevalent as it used to be.
Well, now if someone actually if a human talks to you in person, you're like, ew, what are you doing? What I mean? Like, oh God, it's like, what the
apps
fuck?
did it, right? Apps ruined it. Apps took it all away.
They're like, you didn't even text me first? Just talk to me? Right. This is creepy. Like, that's how people are. I think you're a creep if you say hello to them, whereas back then that was considered being social.
You swipe right, and then you go to dinner, and then you feel like you owe somebody at least a blowjob. You blow them, and then you go home. And then at least you got pretty decent dinner.
I think dinner is... I don't even think that's...
sometimes that's
I don't think that's even really...
Yeah, sometimes that happens, but I mean...
It's not even that
for the most
part
of the time. It happens, right? Dinner or drinks or something?
I don't know. Again,
but
this is out of my range, man. No. I never want to be doing that. I never want to figure that out.
I'll be off in a tube sock that has holes in it, and I can't use it anymore.
Still
good for one thing.
Marry your hamper, Jimmy. There you go. That's the best.
I'll murder it.
That's the best fucking advice I have for you. Marry your hamper, because at least you don't have to deal with.
I found it on Tinder.
Saying hello to somebody and them going, "What are you talking to me for?" And like,
oh,
sorry.
Jesus Christ.
So
terrible plan.
It's just bad altogether. So now the landlady said that he didn't treat women bad. She said she said that he treated them kind of gentlemanly and in a fashion like that. So she said they were polite. He was polite to them. He would defer to their wishes and stuff. So she wasn't like, oh, I got this abusive, kind of a guy in the house. So she just thought that he had a big ego. She called him Mr. Ego. To her friends, Mr. Ego. She said he would pose and like preen in front of the women, like basically like a high school guy, like he's trying to show off. Like, everybody that meets him says he gives off a real high school vibe.
Oh, that'd be awesome in your 30s.
How he is. Well, it's also pathetic.
I don't know. It's pathetic. I just mean like it's awesome that he's got it still in shape and together in his 30s. I was such a mess in my 30s already.
Yeah,
even
but
at 30.
I mean, Christ, 30 is the peak of your like athletic abilities.
Is it?
And,
oh God,
30. Look at everybody. Look at professional athletes. 30 is when they're peaking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, I mean, he should be in good physical condition unless he just gave up on himself. But it's just kind of pathetic that he thinks he's in high school. So it's just weird.
He's got so much desire to be liked.
To be liked, he needs. He needs to be desired. So
too bad.
During 1981, the first few months, he is writing and calling Shelley, his fiance, quite often. He's sending her presents and saying he loves her and she's dreaming of marrying him and blah, 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 blah. But he continues to look for other women. He's just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it. If he basically doesn't have a date for like 2-3 days, he'll get depressed. He'll go into he'll crash. He'll crash out.
He needs approval every 3 days.
Every other day. I mean, that's now. He needs it all the time. The same way he needs to rob places, he needs affection and approval. So he would, but he doesn't know how to go about it because he would be nice. He'd go up and introduce himself to girls. He'd buy them drinks. He wouldn't be like, hey, come out here and, let me cram my cock down your throat or anything like that. He wasn't, aggressive or gross or anything like that. So he didn't get it that they kept rejecting him. He just didn't understand that women who are over 16 are looking for something different because it works great on the 16-year-olds. That love bombing shit, they love that shit, especially like one with a little damage to them. Holy crap. You tell them you're my everything, forget about it. They're reciprocate. 30-year-olds like, I heard that a few times, asshole. Let's back up. You know what I mean? A little bit different. But yeah, any experienced girls, they'll reject him completely. Yeah. But he has to keep looking for women. He goes out to the bars, even on the freeways. He's just,
what?
If he sees an attractive woman on the freeway, he'll flag her down and try to like get her to pull over so he can talk to her.
Yeah.
Which, imagine if you did that now. Never mind walking up to somebody in a bar. If you did that,
65 miles an hour and you're waving at
they would be calling the cops. They would be pulling you over. You'd be rightfully so. Leave people the fuck alone. So he keeps hunting women and doing all that sort of shit. That's what he's doing now, walking around looking for shit. There's a funny story about this girl on the freeway that's crazy, that he like stalks this woman for an hour and a half.
Wow.
And she's finally just like, okay, I pulled over and let him talk to me.
What?
He was handsome enough, so why not?
What the shit?
Imagine if this guy was ugly. He'd get nowhere.
Nothing.
Because
he's arrested every
he's
day.
in great shape and he's handsome. Yeah. So, I mean, and he's still having problems. So imagine if he was hideous or, just
bald,
more socially awkward. Yeah, he's got the big 1980 fucking perm going on. Yeah. Man, he looks like a Bee Gee, for Christ's sake, a jacked up Bee Gee. So now, February 9th of 81 here in Corvallis, a man matching the I-5 bandit and now killer, the I-5 killer's description, held up a fabric store.
Okay.
Which is he robs odd places.
Sure does.
Remember he robbed a skating rink last time?
Yeah.
So he robbed a fabric store in Corvallis, 8 p.m. He got $300 from the clerk, which must have been 6 weeks of fabric sales in 1981. How much fabric are people buying? Holy shit.
It's like $1 a yard or some shit.
Yeah, it's just cheap.
Cents a yard? I don't know.
There's old ladies going in there giving you like 14 cents for a scrap of doily. Like, how much money can be in there?
We're walking out with 2 carts.
Weird. So he threatens her with a small silver gun. We've heard that before. Mm-hmm. And then he forced the clerk, a 30-year-old woman, and her female customer into the back room.
Okay.
Where he tapes their hands, ankles, and mouths with surgical tape. No. And then he basically he jerked off into their faces, basically. With his dick against their face the whole time.
What?
Which is a strange assault.
Oh my God.
But he wasn't done for the night, though.
I wouldn't say a strange assault. I think that's his side, it's strange. Their side, much more horrifying.
Oh, yeah. But for him, I don't know
more.
what. Yeah, this is what he just feels like jerking off into their face. Like,
just need the warmth of the outside of your cheek.
It's so strange. But the strangest thing is that same night, he went to a laundromat and tied up and sodomized 2 young girls.
God dang.
So this is not like children, but young women, like,
young
18,
women,
19. So this is in the same night. And the laundromat's only 10 miles away from Corvallis. So, like, on the way out, he's like, I'm not finished yet. Wow. That's wild. So, basically, we said the Komenik guy, the detective, he's trying to put this all together. And they're like, fuck. You can tell, basically, where this guy is going because he's going to, like, follow a trail out of where he goes doing the same thing. So, they're trying to put together something like that where they might be able to predict where he goes next. Mm-hmm. But some days he does a bunch of stuff. Some days he does one thing. You never know what he's doing.
God dang.
So 3 days after that, so it'd be February 12th, more robberies committed by a man matching his description. This is in Vancouver, Olympia, and Bellevue, Washington.
Okay.
Now this whole time, this is when his landlord's like, he's always on overnight trips, don't know what he's doing. Yeah. This is what he's doing. He's out doing this. There's also sexual assaults, 3 different sexual assaults in Olympia and Bellevue that he takes part in as part of this. This is a real busy night. He started in Vancouver, and this was about 5:45 at night, so not even late at night. He robbed the Sassy Dress Shop, which I'm lucky because I'm a frequent shopper there, so I'm very lucky.
Sassy's, yeah.
Super lucky that I wasn't at Sassy's that night. I could have very easily been taken. He robbed them of $50 and bound the elderly clerk with adhesive tape. No interest in sex with the elderly clerk, though, obviously. Right. Yeah. An hour and a half later, he was in Olympia, Washington, which is about 100 miles north, right up the I-5, where he forced 2 teenagers into the freezer of a drive-in restaurant.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And, of course, sexually abused them as well. Whoa. 2 teenage girls, robbed the cash register, and left them bound in the freezer, which is dangerous. They could have died in there. So by 10 p.m., but I guess they're lucky he didn't kill him. So, it's all how you look at it, I guess. By 10 p.m., he's in Bellevue confronting employees at a Dairy Queen as they were closing out shop there. He grabbed a stack of money, locked the male employee in the freezer, and then turned his attention to the young woman working there. Mm-hmm. So, he ended up leaving, and after a few minutes later, after he assaulted her, he had Band-Aid on his nose the whole time, by the way. Yeah, right. He then, a third set of women called into the Bellevue Police Department, too. So, he's assaulting everybody. He's on he's out of control. His dick is not even in his pants at this point. He's just running around with it like a divining rod, looking for whatever makes it hard.
He's on a stop skip. He can't pause the record. And
no.
It's like the record's scratched and it just plays the song over again.
Over and over, and he keeps just keeps doing it. So it's the I-5 freeway. They figured this is all along the I-5 freeway. The guy probably used that to escape. They made composite pictures there in Vancouver and Olympia and Bellevue. They're all pretty much identical.
Wow.
And if you follow our social media last week and then this week too, I'll post, there was a set of composites because there's a shitload of composites. I posted one set of the composites last week. I'll post another set of the composites this week. Okay. And you'll see that they're all very similar. And you would definitely see them all and go, I think we're looking for the same guy here, for sure.
These guys all look the same.
Absolutely. Here is one of them. There's one from a newspaper here that we have. Band-Aid on the nose. Sure. This has a real straight hair, though, kind of stringy straight hair, which is not what his hair's like. So that
it's got some curl to it. I don't think the artist got the curl right.
No. By now he's getting perms. So he's got big perm.
Yeah, it's an afro.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's a big article in the Oregon Journal that says freeway bandit sought an area. And they're just talking all about the fact that the same weapon is apparently used in all of these things, and they're connecting this to murders. And, they're saying he wears a Band-Aid and a green windbreaker, blue jeans, and running shoes, and sometimes a false beard. We don't know. Okay. But then sometimes he has a beard. So we're not sure here. The Sassy Dress Shop, he bound a 65-year-old Irene Chafee at the Sassy Dress Shop. What did he expect to find in the Sassy Dress Shop? It sounds like old lady shop there. For bridge night.
Like the spaghetti strap dresses. You know what I mean?
You think? Sassy just sounds...
Sassy seems like a teenage shop.
Really? I thought of it as
80s Forever 21.
I thought of it as women in their 50s who are looking for church shit. I don't know why. You're probably more accurate, though, I think, than I am on that one. So, they're talking about they think he's dangerous and all that. Forensics tests showed that all these people have been sexually assaulted, all by the same person. So it's not good here. Here is one. This is Friday night, February 13th. Randy is on the I-5 freeway south of Seattle. He's headed to Portland. He sees a pretty girl driving in front of him. Okay, this is the story I was talking about with you here. And he pulls in close behind her, which again now would immediately get the police called on you.
Yeah.
She's 18 years old. She's heading to Salem. She notices this gold Volkswagen Bug with Oregon plates pull alongside her several times. And the whole time he's smiling and pointing off the freeway like, hey,
bounce off with me.
Let's come off here. Get off here. He's motioning with his hand like this, like with a drink. Like, let's get a drink.
Oh, okay.
That's over here. Yeah. She shook her head no.
Mm-hmm.
He said he didn't really
take
no for an answer.
Yeah.
He pulled off near the Thunderbird Motel in Kelso, thinking that she would follow.
Sure?
She kept going. Right. So she's like, all right, he's gone. But then after a little while, here he is right behind her again.
Yeah.
He must have really hauled ass to catch up to her. And he pulls into the lane next to her, and he's smiling and pointing to the side of the road. She didn't respond. She didn't do anything. So he drifted back behind her again. And she said, this is crazy. She wasn't alarmed. No. She wasn't scared. Back then, this didn't scare women.
That's so weird.
This was just considered like gamesmanship. Like, he's got to shoot a shot. So she thought she was intrigued, actually, because she thought he was handsome. She's like, this guy's kind of handsome. And so she's like, maybe I will talk to him. So they were close to Vancouver when she pulled off and pulled into the Wimpy's Burger stand and stood outside her car or just sat in her car and waited for him to follow also.
Yeah.
So he rolled up. He was very nice. He told her he was 25 and he lived in Portland with his sister. None of those are true. He said he was a bartender, but he had to quit because someone was selling illegal drugs in there, and he morally just couldn't take that.
Golly.
Even though he does coke in the living room of his rented house.
Big fan of it,
Yeah, he said, he also goes to Eugene. He's going to go to the university there, and all that kind of thing. They never got out of their cars. They did this like from the windows. She gave him her phone number in Salem, and that was that.
Yeah.
So, and that's what Randy needed, phone numbers, because then he can talk to people. He needs to communicate.
Yeah.
So over Valentine's Day weekend, he called her several times. One time he called her at 2:30 in the morning. She lives with her parents.
Don't do that.
No. Stepfather answered the phone.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not great. And was like, yeah, no, I'm not letting her talk to you because he said, you sound drunk. I'm not putting my fucking 18-year-old stepdaughter on the phone with you. Fuck you.
Right.
So he called again at 11 in the morning.
Oh.
And asked her to come to his suite at the Marriott Hotel in Portland.
Okay.
And she said no. He's been on a robbing spree, so he's got some dough. Yeah. She said no, but Randy, he's not going to be deterred by a no. All this whole episode, if no made him stop, none of this shit would be happening. Yeah. So, he keeps going after her. He found out her address and last name by looking up her phone number in a reverse directory. Oh yeah, He reverse searched her before an internet. Now he had to He had to go buy a book for that. He had to go to a bookstore and pick that up, and he did. He started to send her cards. She thought his letters were weird, and she never dated him or never really responded to him. But she remembered him because he was just kept going and going and going. And there's a lot of women like that. This is kind of the story of tons of women who he would get their phone number and then he would just never stop bothering them, just sending them letters and talking to them and calling them and doing all this type of shit. So that times like 20 is his normal life here, which is interesting.
He's dedicated.
Yes. That's what I mean. If he had half of the work ethic that he has with this, he would be he'd be killing it. He'd killing it, not people. Yeah. Be a lot different. So anyway, the cops all meet, and this is cops from multiple jurisdictions meet to talk about this.
Sure.
Because they all have a problem. It's obviously along the I-5, and this guy is an issue here. So Kamenik here writes, that's the Dave Kamenik, the main investigator here. Yeah. He said the subject hits various businesses in the evening hours. This is what he wrote up on the board in this conference.
Sure. Yeah.
Normally between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. with emphasis on the early evening hours. Now, I wonder if that's also true because in the winter, that's dark. But in June, does he rob people at 5:30? You know what I'm saying? When it's light out. Yeah. So I think dark has something to do with that. He goes in when there's a lull in business. We believe he's armed with a .32 caliber silver revolver. In most instances, he ties or tapes his victims with hands crossed behind their backs and ankles crossed. He usually picks businesses with young women on duty and often with 2 young women. He has them disrobe, but he only unzips his trousers. He forces victims to masturbate him or to perform oral sodomy. With older females, he usually only fondles. He invariably takes his victims to the back of the building where they cannot be seen from the street. He sometimes removes the telephone receiver to prevent victims from calling for help.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing that he said there. That's his MO that he describes to all of them.
It's a terrible workup.
It's a lot. It sounds awful. Yeah. If you got that diagnosis from someone about you, you'd be like, oh, God, I'm an awful person. That sounds bad.
I really got to work on me.
I got to quit fucking this up, man. So then he wrote on the blackboard, all the different kind of points about him here. All the kind of the collection: tape on nose, green jacket or windbreaker type jacket, hood or ski cap, fake beard, gloves, ski, sporting, driving. Different gloves he uses. No odors detected. So, we don't have a Richard Ramirez situation here. So
but we also don't have, we also don't have like zest or
no.
Or patchouli oil or some shit. Nothing.
Well, they're thinking, is he a vagrant? That's
right.
So
sure.
like,
yeah.
But he's not. So
there's nothing that stands out at all.
Nothing that stands out. No. Soft spoken, rarely uses profanity. So he's not filthy and dirty with these people at all either. He's kind of almost oddly childlike with his, like, it's almost like a teenager is doing it. Yeah. He's not. Doesn't do anything like that. Macho, considers his penis as large and brags about it.
Oh.
When he leaves, orders victims to count to 100 or 500. Vehicle thought to be left several blocks away. White male, 25 to 28, 5'11 to 6'1, medium build, dark hair, possibly curly. Dark eyes, described as sad or tired eyes. Well, yeah, if you were this many rapes and robberies, you'd look tired too. Christ.
He's almost out of jizz.
That's what I mean.
Your body's exhausted making all that.
That's the thing. The light in someone's eyes, that's just jizz. And once it's gone, that's when you start to droop a little bit.
Dimming.
Yeah, so you can see the light start to dim there when a man's jizz is low. That's how it works here. And, it builds back up and
sure.
the light comes back. So they said good looking, possible acne scarring, which is true. Weapons, 32 caliber, 6-shot revolver, nickel or chrome plated, Smith & Wesson Model 60 stainless steel 38 special 5-shot with a 3-inch barrel and wood grips also. And vehicle, they have Volkswagen Bug with question marks. Possible.
Oh.
So they describe him dead to rights. I mean, it's him.
They got him, yeah.
They got him. Then they did a tentative psychological profile.
Mm-hmm.
And this is fun as shit. I love this. Anything that has to do with psychological profiles, I find fucking fascinating here. I was telling you before this, there's an Epstein documentary, and they were talking about, they're showing like his deposition, and the lawyer who was questioning him did a psych profile on him before the questioning to find out what'll rattle him. You know what I mean? And they said, well, he's a narcissist, so you got to insult him. That'll piss him off. If you want to piss him off, that's the way to piss him off. So immediately the guy's like, so you have an egg-shaped penis? He's like, we hear it's real thick at the bottom.
Robin egg you got.
Yeah, we hear it's thick at the bottom, but then small and skinny toward the top. Is that right? And you could just see his face of just fucking rage building in his face. I was like, that's awesome. That's great. So I love a profile. So they said the handouts noting the profile were stamped confidential. And they said subject is a male Caucasian, possibly recently divorced or separated from girlfriend. He's always separated from somebody. Released within the last year from some type of institution. He has a very macho image of himself, is the type to drive a 4-wheel drive or sports type car, which is not true. He's a Volkswagen Bug guy, utilitarian as it gets, but gold colored, which makes it a little flash.
Luxury, yeah.
Yes. Uses false champagne. Uses false beards as possible macho symbol. I don't know about that.
I think it's just to throw people off because he doesn't have one.
That's all it is, man. The Band-Aid is simply to hide behind. This man is probably the type who would be considered a very nice person by the people next door. Primary motivation is sexually related. Subject is a loner and possibly has latent homosexual tendencies.
Oh.
Pulled that out of their ass there.
Does that feel like a bait? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, like there's to try to get him to come. Hey, I'm not gay. I mean,
hey, what the fuck?
You don't know nothing about that guy is what I meant to say.
It's all women that this man's been assaulting. Yeah. What are you guys talking about?
I only show my beautiful penis to women. Do you know anything? So Kamenik says this, quote, "Our man has herpes," which is hilarious. It's a great opening salvo.
Our man has herpes.
Man has herpes, everybody.
Yeah.
Several of his victims have contracted the disease after being sexually abused. As far as we know, he's never attempted normal intercourse. His fetish is oral or anal sodomy. I don't have to tell you how frustrating this investigation is. We know what he looks like, we know his patterns, and we even know where he hits, but he's playing cat and mouse with us. When we're looking in Oregon, he's in Washington or California. He may act like a monster, but he looks like the guy next door. There are probably a lot of people who know him very well who think he's a great guy, people who are going to be struck dumb when we catch him. He's as dangerous as any subject most of us will ever encounter, and he's stepping up his attacks. He's killed at least 3 times. He's attacked children. He's attacked women. He's in some sort of sexual frenzy. Let's go get him. So that's the little fucking rah-rah speech to the troops here.
Let's go get our herpes-infested man.
Let's go bring that herpes sore back here. That Volkswagen driving herpes sore. So they said that the profile it turns out to be it's a pretty decent profile, actually.
Not bad, yeah.
So Valentine's Day is a big day for Randy, by the way. We found out he was really working hard building up to Valentine's Day. It's the romantic day. So he basically would send out dozens of cards that day. He'd send out flowers to multiple women, sent Shelley yellow roses. He was going to spend the weekend in Beaverton there and wrote to a bunch of girls there saying he's going to take them out to dinner when he was in town, like 7 of them. It's like, maybe one of them will hit. He wanted to rent a room at the Marriott in Portland. Remember, he was inviting that girl down there.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to throw a party on Valentine's Day night. It's a Saturday night.
Oh, Marriott.
That's right. So most of the girls who received the cards, a lot of them are still in high school, by the way. He's sending Valentine's Day cards to. So Randy had one platonic friend in Beaverton, a girl named Dixie, who had a boyfriend, but she liked hanging out with Randy and listening to his problems with women and his, she liked to hear relationship gossip and talk about it, basically. So, she said, I'll hang out with you while you're in Beaverton. And he wanted to call the girl that he met on the freeway there and get her down here. And he also had one of his prison buddies that was coming up to visit and all that kind of shit. Yeah. So he wanted to make sure he had some plans. So he has a Valentine's Day party here, basically for himself. Yeah. Nobody showed up. Not one person.
Nobody.
Not his prison buddy.
Oh, no.
Not the chick from the freeway.
Oh,
not his platonic friend who likes to hear his bullshit. Dix, that's what I mean. Her. Nobody showed up. I just picture him with crackers and dips. He empties a powdered packet of something into sour cream and mixed it up and shit and put it in a bowl. You know what I'm saying? He absolutely did that. He
Ranch
put out
flavored or whatever the fuck it was.
French onion. He went with 1,000%. Or he had hors d'oeuvres. He had champagne.
Party hat on, a stack of them by the door. Put one on as you come in.
And I just picture him sitting in a chair there, all sad, like a kid who nobody showed up at his birthday party.
Smoking a cigarette and doing a line all alone.
That's so sad. So he showed up at Julie Rietz's house, his friend, at 2 a.m., distraught that no one showed up to his party instead. So that's what he did. Now, that's the Julianne Rietz, who is 18. 2 days later, on Monday, February 16th, 1981, Beaverton police are investigating the apparent murder of Julianne Rietz. 2 days later, her body was discovered Sunday morning in her home where she lived. They said she was discovered by her mother, who notified the police. She'd been shot behind the ear with a small caliber gun. She was found near the entry to her duplex that she shared with another young woman and her mother. Police say they have several leads, but there's no apparent motive known. They said the gun used was not found and it wasn't left behind. One neighbor said she thought she heard a shot or a backfire of a car at about 12:30 on Sunday morning.
Okay.
The medical examiner placed the death, quote, sometime during the night, which...
Nice shot.
Listen, I'm not a doctor, but I could probably tell you that, whether it's, been
pretty
there for 2 days or not. I'll let you
Yeah.
know that. That's pretty good. That's medical training right there at its best here. So they said that nobody else was there. She was there alone. Her 2 roommates were gone. The mother and the roommate were gone. Neighbors didn't know the names of the people who lived there at all either. They said there was generally a lot of activity at the restaurant, at the residence, because there's young women living there. So
sure.
I'm sure friends and stuff, a lot of people coming and going. They said Saturday night at that place, the neighbor said too. So that she had tons of people were coming and going. She had just graduated from Beaverton High School. So her body was found at the bottom of the stairs at 8:30 a.m. by her mother. Apparently, Reitz and her attacker had had a glass of wine, and it looked like they were planning on coffee because there was instant coffee on the counter and water had boiled down in a kettle. So they were about to pop in some Sanka or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Do people eat instant?
U-Ban?
People don't drink instant coffee anymore, do they?
Not anymore, right?
That's an old school thing, right? It's old. Yeah.
Dry freeze crystals.
Like our
those
grandparents.
Fucking bad. Yeah.
Drank that
My
shit.
grandfather didn't even drink that. He left it out for people that came to his shop.
Yeah.
Because you're only there to pick up your car and get the fuck out of here. So maybe you'd like a quick fucking coffee.
Quick, shitty coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got like a steamer, and then you can pour your shit in there and then get the fuck out.
And fuck off.
Yeah, but it is so bad, and it doesn't. I wouldn't say it doesn't work. It probably works, right? I don't know, but
I mean,
it's gross.
People drank it for
terrible.
years.
Oh God, it tastes so bad.
For fucking years. It looked awful. I mean, there'd be like shit in the bottom of it.
Yeah,
Like,
That's the problem. Is that like the bottom is just sand.
Be spitting grounds out and shit. That's gross, man.
So bad.
By the way, right under this in the newspaper, there's an ad for. This is amazing. Travel 2,000 years in only 15 days to the Holy Land. With the Bible as your guidebook under the spiritual direction of Father Cornelius Linehan.
Cornelius. Going
there he is.
Fucking.
Look at him.
Oh, yeah, that looks like Linehan.
Bald guy with glasses. This is an ad. You go from New York
to Jerusalem.
$2,000.
$2,000?
$2,000 in 1981.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
That's probably what it is now, right?
But look at what they're advertising, though. Mm-hmm. Holy Scripture comes alive for you as you walk the way of the cross. The deals, Jimmy, the sales.
Wow.
As you walk the way of the cross, your faith takes deeper meaning as you pray where stood the stable in Bethlehem or kneel in the garden of Gethsemane. I don't know shit about biblical stuff. You will gaze out over the Jordan Valley from atop the Mount of Jericho, visit Nazareth, Cana, Mount de Beatitudes, and many other places. Papal audience.
Yeah.
Come to the Holy Land. On your way, you'll stop for a pilgrim's audience with the Holy Father and a thorough tour of the Vatican and Rome. On your return, you'll trace the steps of St. Paul at Athens and Corinth in Greece. The first step is to send this coupon today. By return mail, you'll receive a fast-packed folder, which tells you packed folder. It's hard to read these tiny letters, which tells you what you can expect every moment of an unforgettable experience.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Sounds great.
And there's a little thing you cut out, and it says, "Dear Father, please send your colorful folder," and name, address, city. So he had met this Julie Reitz while working at the Fawcett Tavern in Raleigh Hills. Mm-hmm. She was underage, but he let her in anyway because he likes teenage girls. Now, a guy that worked there said Randy was fired from that bar. His thing was young girls. He was always bringing underage girls into the place. Then he asked me to go with him to small claims court and lie. I realized he was kind of weird.
God, geez.
So the child molesting that wasn't really a red flag.
I didn't. Look.
The guy wants me to lie to Judge Wapner. I won't do
it. It's his thing. But Judge Judy will pick me apart.
Not doing it. So I think I think People's Court was on the air back then.
Yeah. My mom watches. I'll get yelled at.
Oh, Jesus, you can't have that. This guy that we're talking about worked at the Fawcett and met Woodfield and Julie Reitz there. He was 21, this guy. So he kind of looked up to Randall at first because he was older. Because this guy also played football and tried out for football at Portland State, where he didn't make it, but Randy did. So, and then went to the Packers. So he looks up to Randy, and they throw the football around and all that kind of shit. And just like with women, though, after a little while, this guy was kind of like, this dude's kind of pathetic. Randy's kind of pathetic. So the last time that this guy heard from Randy was the night of his Valentine's Day party where no one showed up.
Yeah.
And Woodfield left a message with this guy's parents. And this guy said, quote, he wanted me to come down and join him. I got the message too late and didn't make it.
Oh, no.
So he made like 1 million plans with 30 different people and nothing came of it at all.
Nothing materialized.
So he was so mad he had to go to some young lady's house and murder her, basically. So, man, so Valentine's Day night, we have all of this shit. We have a guy here, one of the investigators is attending a religious retreat.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be in the mix here. There's no cell phone. So,
right.
He's not in the office. That's that. But early Sunday morning, he gets a call from his office there saying, we have a dead body with suspicious circumstances and we need you.
Yeah.
So he has to pull out of the religious ceremony and whoever he was inside. I'm not sure. So that's the Julianne Reitz issue. Now, she liked Randy. She actually called him an asshole one time when she found him with another woman because she thought they had a thing going on here.
Yeah.
So apparently he got, like I said, she had plans to attend several Valentine's Day parties the night before. She was going with no date, though. So, but apparently her mother and roommate were away doing other shit. Now, her mother came home, found all the lights on, and then she saw her daughter by the stairway. She was naked, and she thought that she fell down the stairs or something. So she rushed to help her up. She thought she was just fell down the stairs and was like, she must have just walked in just as she fell down the stairs. And she went, oh, Julie, oh my God, went to help her up. And then when she got close, she could see that there was blood all over the place. Yeah. And she thought that, oh my God, Julie must have hit her head on the post on the way down and knocked herself unconscious. So she was shaking her, trying to wake her up, and she wouldn't respond to it. And that's when she called for help. And ambulance attendants right away were like, yeah, that's a gunshot wound. She didn't hit her head. She just got shot in the fucking head. Way different. So they left the body on the stairway and called homicide detectives, obviously, here. And so this Dave Bishop, who was on his retreat there, he shows up with somebody else. No signs of a struggle. It looked like Julie had been running down the stairs toward the front door when she was hit by the bullets. They said that her killer was probably right behind her, or that she had stopped. He stopped her from opening the door to run out for help, basically.
Yeah.
So they said the door to their home, this is Julie's mother and roommate, said that the door to their home was always locked and that Julie would not have let a stranger in, not at night especially.
Yeah, right.
So they said it had to be someone she knew and trusted. So, that was a thing. So now Julie, she said, was very trusting also. She's very pretty. So she had a lot of male admirers because they were like, well, any guys interested in her? And they're like, yeah, she's a pretty 18-year-old girl.
Yeah.
A fucking million of them. Are you kidding me?
Right.
She dated all the time also. So she's got a lot of guys she saw a couple times that didn't see again. They're all suspects.
Sure.
She graduated from high school a month before, and she'd been working as a clerk in a children's clothing store called Kids for Shore. It was a terrible name for a clothing store.
Don't like that.
So they try to retrace her steps that evening, and they talked to her friends. She'd been seen at several parties on Valentine's Day, the Saturday night, and the last time anyone had seen her was around 2 a.m. So they said she didn't have any arguments with anybody, no incidents of, somebody being mad at her that night or anything like that. The last time anybody saw her, she said she was going home, which she obviously did. They talked to her friends, and they did learn that an older man, a man in his 40s, had been attracted to her and had insisted that she accept expensive presents from him.
Insisted,
but she hadn't been interested in him at all. But they were saying, I wonder if this older guy in his 40s took the rejection badly and killed her.
Right.
So they didn't know, because this isn't like off the I-5 or, in a weird store or anything. So they didn't know what to do. They located this man on Sunday evening. He was in an expensive restaurant. They asked him to leave to talk to him. He had a steak dinner, and he was like, what, are you fucking kidding me? You want me to get up from my table here? So then they told him it's a murder investigation, and they said, we can talk here. where you'll fuck up your steak, or you can go down to headquarters. Now, normally they take him. He's a fucking suspect in a murder case. He wouldn't have the option to eat a ribeye while he's getting questioned. This is not part of it. So anyway, the guy followed them out of the cops out of the restaurant. He's had a solid alibi for this time. They located a young man who had spent time with Julie at a Valentine's Day party. He said, quote, "I was with her at 10, but then that was the last time I saw her. I didn't take her home." And he passed a polygraph to such.
That's good.
So there's that. 3 other teenage boys who had been with Julie at various times during this evening were also given polygraphs. Everybody passed.
Wow.
So during the autopsy, they pulled a .38 slug. They said deep in her brain they pulled it out of. So it was bad. The kind of bullet used in Smith & Wesson .38 specials, they said. Mm-hmm. They said at time of death at that point between 3 and 4 a.m., possibly on the 15th. They did find, they had their test came back positive for the presence of male ejaculate.
Oh, boy.
So, yes, so they have that. They said it was type B with no PGM enzyme factors. They said there was not enough fluid left to isolate a positive or negative RH factor. So, not a kind of a degraded sample a little bit here. So sheets from her bed were stained with the semen as well. This guy has a lot of semen.
Yeah, he sure does.
He really does. He is all full up, man. Like he's got like an extra well in there, a reservoir or some shit. I don't know does he have like a pump he keeps, like a colostomy bag?
We all got one, but he's got 2.
He's got 2. Well, I think we all have 2, don't we? In each ball, I think we probably got one coming off each nut. Maybe. I have no idea.
Is that what it is? I don't know where it goes. I don't know where it's held. It's not the whole bag, right? Because the bag's pretty flimsy.
Yeah. If that was full,
it's not like there's not a lot of pressure back there.
Well, no. Plus, that would be really weird if every time you fucking did that, your sack like shriveled up because it's all the fluid's gone and like.
Yeah.
Like draining a kiwi. like taking a big needle and just a big gauge needle and just sucking everything out of a kiwi and watching it shrivel to nothing.
A sparsely filled water balloon with no like if you took a birthday balloon and let the air out and now it's all flimsy and then you went and put a little bit of water in there. That's where I'm at.
But wrinkly.
Because when you take all the air out of it, it gets a little wrinkly.
For sure.
It's been blown up. Now it's a mess.
Now it's strained. Oh man! So they have semen-stained sheets. They said that Julie had not been sexually active in recent months. Julie's mother and roommate said she hadn't been, hadn't been sleeping with anybody. They said the semen stains on her sheets had to be fresh. Because she changes her sheets all the time. She hasn't been banging anybody, so something's got to happen. They said that it was impossible to tell whether this sexual activity happened before or after the death, they said at the time. They didn't know. So they were trying. They said, the bishop guy said, we had a huge office and we soon had all the walls covered with butcher paper. Every name, every connection, no matter how slight to the victim was jotted down. I want to see what I'm doing, study it, read it, talk to it. If you can see it written down, sooner or later the common denominator is going to jump out at you. Yeah. That makes sense. So they had a question. Within a week, they questioned over 100 people in this case here. They given 36 polygraph tests, all of which cleared the subjects. So the more investigation they did, the less they had, essentially.
Yeah.
They said one bit of information listed on the chart came to the detectives in a weird way. A woman worked in the lunchroom of a school in Aloha, Oregon, which I had no idea there was an Aloha, Oregon. Aloha, Oregon. Wow.
Yeah.
And overheard a conversation among several teachers. One of the teacher's sons was a student at Beaverton High School who knew someone who had seen a Volkswagen Bug. So a guy heard another guy say that he heard someone else say that this happened. So this is like seventh-hand hearsay. This is not great. But they said they saw a Volkswagen Bug driving up and down the street in front of Julie's townhouse very late on Valentine's Day night. The car had finally pulled over to the curb and the headlights flashed on and off. They said it was thin. They really had nothing on it. Like I said, it's like eighth-hand knowledge. It's more degrees than it takes to get to Kevin Bacon by far. So,
yeah.
I mean, this is great. They could have got the information from Kevin Bacon easier at that point, actually. So they said that they were, but they put Volkswagen Bug on the wall on the butcher paper. Mm-hmm. So that's something to go by. They continued to question friends of Julie and then friends of friends. And they always said, will you list for me everyone you can think of that Julie knew? Anybody she ever come in contact with. And they said, will you try to remember where she went and with whom? Even if it doesn't seem important, we want to know. Even if you saw her in a store one time with some guy you didn't recognize. Who's the guy? Give me a description. So they said that they were filling the walls with all this shit. This is an all hands on deck kind of a deal here.
Okay.
By February 28th of that month now, the focus is now on Randall Woodfield. They're actually looking at Randy for this.
Okay.
But by then, the I-5 bandit is striking more. In Eugene on February 18th, this is 3 days after Julie, a customer walked into a 7-Eleven store in Eugene at 3:25 in the morning, waited patiently for the clerk, but no one appeared to popped up at the register. Then he heard a muffled thumping sound coming from the back room, walked in and found a female clerk lying on her stomach with her hands and feet surgically tied behind her back with surgical tape and something stuffed in her mouth.
Oh, my God.
So he didn't kill this time, though. He did sexually assault her, but he didn't kill her.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he chooses when to kill her or not. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's real random.
It's got to be something with how the act plays out, because we know he gets annoyed by the crying. It's got to be something in the act that sets him off, that he's like, I can't. It has to be.
It has to be. Or if they're not completely cooperative, or he doesn't feel like they're completely cooperative. Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't like this woman for whatever reason. He's turned off and upset.
It's so fucking weird. So then 3 days after that, on February 21st, same place. This is crazy. The same place in Eugene. Again, he didn't even go down the road like he normally does here. 3 in the morning at 7-Eleven. Mm-hmm. This time, that was the last one. This time it was a little after 9 o'clock at the Taco Time on River Road in Eugene. Taco Time. He loves
places that have very little money in the tank.
That's what I mean. I guess because maybe they're not thinking they're getting robbed.
I guess. They would never assume it. Yeah.
Yeah. You go into like a check cashing joint. They have bulletproof glass in front of them and they're armed too. Like they're expecting it. Where I feel like Taco Time feel like they're going to get robbed that much probably. Yeah. One of those deals. So there was 2 teenage girls on duty that were in the back kitchen area. There was no customers. And now the girls had read about the I-5 killer.
Yeah.
So whenever there was nobody in the restaurant, they would get scared.
Yeah. You got to be, you feel like a target.
This is the lull. This is when he's watching for us. And now the people are starting to feel like targets. Everybody is. Yeah. So they heard the front door open and looked up and saw a tall, dark man in a khaki jacket and a watch cap, wool cap, walk directly into the food prep area. So it didn't stop at the counter.
No.
They couldn't see his hands because he had them in his pockets. This is a 17-year-old girl named Connie. She just bolted and ran toward the back door as soon as she saw this. Didn't give a fuck. I'll be embarrassed later if it's nothing.
I'm willing to be laughed at for the rest of the time that
I work
here.
Don't give a fuck. Yeah, she's the one who ran out. Great. I'll go to Taco City down the street. It's fine. I'll get another job. This is okay. Don't care. He shouted stop, and she half turned as she was running and saw that he was pointing a little silver pistol at her, but she kept going. She didn't give a fuck. She was like, hit me. You're going to shoot me in the back if you shoot me because I'm running. Yeah. But she took off. She ran into the neighboring Dairy Queen and took the phone and called the Lane County Sheriff's Office. Okay. She said she felt guilty that her friend was in there alone, but her friend didn't fucking run. Run, bitch. I don't know. I had to run. Yeah. And she begged the operator to send help at once. Yeah. Now, Randy, though, is in this Taco Time with the other girl.
Yeah.
He told her, squat down on the floor and don't move. Oh, boy. I don't want to be squatting.
Squat down.
So she did as she was told, and he ran out. Oh. And moments later, she said the Taco time was surrounded by police officers.
Oh.
And she was yelling from the inside that he was gone. He was gone.
Yeah.
And he was gone. No car, nothing. They said they found a wadded up piece of surgical tape that he threw away in the parking lot. That's all they found.
Okay.
Nowadays, that would be a treasure trove of DNA.
That's
but
everything.
Meant nothing at that point.
That's all we needed.
Another sexual assault happened. As we said, there was 3. This one happened on February 25th. So the 18th, the 21st, and the 25th, and then the 28th. This is crazy. On the 25th, he was in Corvallis at a small restaurant at 5:52 p.m.
Okay.
Employees were, I'm going to give you a guess here. Who do you think the 2 employees were?
I'll bet there were a couple of gals.
Couple of attractive teenage girls.
Yeah.
One of them happened to be the daughter of a Corvallis police officer as well.
Oh, don't fuck with her.
Oh, boy. So this guy watched from outside the restaurant, waiting until a customer picked up an order and left. There's an 18-year-old named Jill Martin in there, walked outside of the restaurant and around to the back of the building where the restrooms were. Oh, geez, it's a restaurant with outside bathrooms, like a gas station.
That's the worst.
Ugh.
Yeah.
He, with a beard on this time, forced his way into the restroom like he'd done before, like he did at that Church's Chicken. She resisted until he cocked the hammer of his gun. When he was finally finished here, he laughed. He fucking jizzed in her mouth.
Oh, my God. And then laughed at her?
Then laughed as she spit it on the floor.
Oh, come on.
He then bound her hands and feet with tape and left her alone in a dark bathroom.
Jesus.
It took her 15 minutes to get her feet free. She couldn't get the tape off her hands, but she stumbled to the door of the restaurant and kicked it until her friend heard her and let her in.
Nice work. Yeah.
Now, the Corvallis detectives found semen in the bathroom on the floor.
Fuck.
So they said it was the ejaculate of a man with B-negative blood with no PGM enzyme characteristics.
Yeah.
So Kamenik, the one cop, had read this report and said, he said, quote, "Enough, goddammit, that's enough. We got to get lucky here eventually. Like this, you can't just keep missing him. Yeah. If you're playing whack-a-mole and you just hit the same spot, eventually a fucking mole's going to pop out of it. You're going to hit it.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing it with no sense of a plan or anything. You're just whacking a random holes. Eventually, you're going to just happen to whack one as right as it comes up. That's just the way it is. So this is crazy. But how many more people are going to be raped and robbed and killed and everything else? It's fucking disgusting here. So they interview Julie Rietz's friend, and they're trying to dig. Because they still haven't connected Rietz to all this other shit, though. Because in a house is totally different than this other MO. So they kept coming back with Julie's case to the concept that she had to have known whoever did this to her. She let him in.
Yeah. You got to be familiar with that.
No one's letting in strangers at midnight. It's just not happening. So they were sure that they had already cleared all the suspects. They had most of their suspects they've cleared already. So they said it had to have been somebody who just maybe wasn't in her normal life, somebody she just barely met, somebody who wasn't ever around her, around other people.
Yeah.
Somebody maybe from her past that people had forgotten about. But she's 18. Like, she doesn't really have a past.
There's not a lot of past there. Yeah.
Past is there? Her past is I was in the 8th grade and I was in the homecoming dance or whatever the fuck. Like, that's the past. So what are we talking about here? So they questioned one of her close friends again and said, could there be any man Julie knew, even so slightly that you may have forgotten about him? He didn't seem important. Just, literally, if you saw her talking to a guy outside of a restaurant for 2 minutes, what's his description? Anything. So this guy said, no, wait, there was a guy, Randy. There's a guy named Randy. He was a lot older than Julie.
Okay.
So the detective said, tell me all about him. I'm all ears.
Everything.
Got nobody else.
Yeah.
Got our got nothing. So he worked at the Fawcett Tavern, the guy said. His name was Randy Woodfield. I mean, he's got his last name.
Wow.
That was last summer. Julie went out with him maybe once or twice. He came on too strong, and she told me she didn't want to date him again, but she did say that they were going to be friends. And they said to this girl, had she mentioned him lately? And the girl said, no, not at all. So they're like, well, that doesn't help. They said, what kind of car does he drive? And the girl said, let me think. And she said, it was a Volkswagen Bug, I think, kind of a gold color.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so the information went up on the on the office wall there. Yeah. Woodfield Randy, 25 to 27, question mark, because the girl didn't know exactly how old he was.
Sure.
Fawcett Tavern bartender, Volkswagen, question mark. And then one of Julie's girlfriends recalled that a Randy Woodfield had asked to sleep over in Julie's townhouse, and she explained that he'd taken Julie out and gotten her a little intoxicated. This is the one where she said he crawled. This is the girl that was there when he came into bed with them. Remember that girl?
Sure. Yeah.
He crawled into bed with us and fooled around with Julie, but nothing really happened. So they wrote his name down again. Yeah. So now they have two Randy Woodfields on the wall. Mm-hmm. On February 27th, his name was mentioned a third time as someone who had been seen around Beaverton on Valentine's Day weekend. So they put it up there again. Now now we have three. He's the only guy that's come up three times. Who hasn't been cleared anyway by a polygraph.
3 in a row is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, shit. So they took a marking pencil and drew lines connecting the three notations. This is all the same guy. They said, well, let's find out what we can see about this Woodfield. Let's figure this out. So they talked in depth with this young woman who mentioned Randy as someone Julie had dated. She was positive Julie had known Randy. In fact, he tried to make it a point to keep in touch with Julie. She said he'd been to her house a couple times. They said, would he know her phone number? And she said, oh, sure, I'm sure he would. Yeah. They said, do you know where Randy Woodfield is now? Does he still work at the Fawcett? She said, no, he got fired last fall. He was into a lot of things that weren't quite ... legal. So she said, the last I heard, he was living in Eugene someplace and going to bartending school. So the detective also called a girl who had mentioned that Woodfield was supposed to be in Beaverton on the weekend of the 14th to the 15th, and her opinion, too, was Randy's super interested in Julie. So she said, I met Randy last spring. This girl's still in high school, by the way, they're talking to. His parents live down at Otter Crest, and his sister lives in Portland. He went to bartending school in Portland, then he moved down to Eugene to go to the University of Oregon. They said, have you heard from him lately? And she said he sent me a Valentine from Eugene and said he'd be in town over Valentine's Day. He said he wanted me to see, but he didn't call. Or he wanted to see me, but he didn't call. So they said, have you ever had sex with Randy Woodfield, to this person? Right. And she said, yes, once or twice, maybe a few more times. Now, this is a high school senior.
Yeah.
Okay. So they asked, was he strange or kinky at all? And she said, no, nothing like that, just normal. He's a nice guy. He did tell me once that he'd been in trouble for burglary a long time ago. And she said that her impression was that Randy was interested in Julie and that Julie, this girl wasn't jealous about that or anything. As far as she knew, he called Julie a few times. Yeah. She said he told me he was really serious about seeing her. He's kind of a persistent guy, but Julie told me she didn't want to see him again and that she didn't want a relationship with him. He said, what kind of vehicle does he have? And she said, it's a gold Volkswagen Bug, fairly new. It has a sunroof and kind of bashed in the front. Mm-hmm. So they said, okay. The detectives now are looking at Randy and they're like, he's our suspect. At least, I mean, he's the guy we definitely have to clear if nothing else. He's
certainly somebody we need to call tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. They said he's admitted some kind of criminal record to several friends. He definitely was interested in the victim. Uh-huh. So they talked again with Julie's roommate and they asked him, do you know anything about this Randy guy? And she said, Randy, I mean, sure, he's been here, but Julie didn't like him. They said, would she have let him in if he came knocking on the door late at night? And the roommate said, probably. She didn't hate him. She just wasn't interested in having a relationship with him. He was older and quite a bit older, and he was pushy, but I think she might have let him in. So then they talked to another former employee at the Fawcett about Randy, and the guy told the detectives, yeah, he's got an obsession with young girls. He gets real angry when women reject him.
Right.
And they were like, okay, a lot of guys are like that. This doesn't necessarily make him a murderer, but
no,
it certainly makes him someone we need to talk to, and a bit of an asshole on top of all that. So they said they need to find out about his criminal record as well. So on February 28th, his parole officer returned the call to the detectives.
Okay.
And she said that, Woodfield's got a record and there'd been more burglary charges, a bunch more shit. He'd been arrested and convicted of sexual crimes many times, all of the the exposure and all that kind of thing. And the exposing had escalated to the incident in the park with the Portland policewoman.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, okay, thank you so much. That's a lot of info. And the parole officer was like, oh, there's way more.
Really?
You got to keep on the phone here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Said, that's why I'm so concerned. This is the parole officer. Now that I hear about your case, Randy Woodfield was a suspect in at least 3 homicides in Portland. Darcy Fix, Doug Altick last Thanksgiving Day, and Sherry Ayers a month before that. He was questioned, but he was never charged. And the cop said, you say you've had him in your caseload? And she said, yes, but he wasn't very amenable to supervision, and I've been concerned. He moved down to Eugene without permission. He waited a long time before notifying me of his address down there. It was only then he requested permission to have his case transferred. I've just transferred his case down to Tony Meyer, an investigating parole officer in Eugene. She should have violated him.
Yeah.
What
the fuck? Yeah.
This parole officer, I'm not trying to, blame her, but kind of blaming her.
Yeah.
She had reason to violate him. How many fucking times? Moving once without notification is terms for violation. Done.
Yeah.
Back in jail, all these girls are alive. Nobody's got a problem. So this is so many people's lives just based on, I don't know, I don't want to break his balls.
Maybe, yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about?
He's been in jail for bad things.
Bad things, and then he doesn't go for supervision. Yeah, I'd be worried he's probably out there doing more bad things. As many times as I could put him in jail, I would be putting him in jail. Unless he was a straight and narrow fucking angel.
Almost don't even care.
Yeah, well, I mean, people want to rehabilitate themselves.
People
great.
Change? Yeah.
If they want to change and show they can, terrific. Yeah. Great. Good for you. But otherwise, you're going back to jail, motherfucker, as long as I can send you there.
Yeah.
So the cops are taking this in, and they've heard Randy Woodfield's name so often that and now they hear this from the parole officer too, and they're really piqued here. Now they're not, again, this is just for Julie Reitz. They're not connecting this to the Kamenix investigation at all. Right. This is just like separate murders that take place in houses. So they got a mugshot and a description of Woodfield, and they they're like, okay, handsome, muscular, just as, okay, that's something. They said that the Portland detective said that, yes, Woodfield had been a suspect in the Ayers case, and he would not take a polygraph. They said he'd finally been eliminated as a suspect because of his blood type. They took his actual blood, and it's B negative. Now, that eliminated him in the Ayers case, but it puts him right in the Reitz case where they have a B negative sample here. Randy told friends in Beaverton that he was going to rent a room at the Marriott. Like we said, he's going to throw the Valentine's Day party. And they did check, and they did find out that, yes, he did stay at the Marriott. The hotel record said he had a room that night, but the Marriott is very close to Julie's house. So that doesn't mean anything, the fact that he had checked in there. So the cops are like, let's go talk to him. They said, if nothing else, we eliminate him. And, if he has an alibi, we eliminate him. Maybe this gets him sent back to prison from his parole officer. Who knows? Either way, so they do that. They call his new parole officer in Eugene, and this guy said, well, I have an appointment with Randy at 8 in the morning on March 3rd for a routine check-in.
Right.
So these guys said, well, we will be there. Don't you worry.
We'll see you then.
And his old parole officer is going to come down and check it out, too.
Okay.
So he's going to think he's just doing a normal, hey, little check-in. He's going to walk in to see 2 homicide detectives and his old parole officer sitting there. He's going to be freaking out, I would imagine. So they said they definitely need to talk to him. At the least, he's definitely a convicted sexual deviant and doesn't really do shit with his parole. So either way, he's a good guy to talk to. So they end up getting to the corrections office, and that morning, the parole office, the Lane County Corrections Office, technically is what it is. They meet with his new parole officer and his old parole officer at 8:30 a.m., and they wait for Randy, even though he was supposed to be there at 8. And he never shows up.
He's not just late, he's a no-show.
He's a no-show. He no-showed it, yeah. So the detectives call another detective at the Springfield Police Department to tell him of their interest in Woodfield. By the way, that's Springfield. That's Simpson Springfield, the one in Oregon.
Right. Yeah, that's the real one. Yeah.
Matt Groening's from. Yeah. So they told them we have interest in Randy here, And this other detective in Springfield drove by his house that he lives with the woman and the son, the 6-year-old boy. He said that Woodfield's gold Volkswagen was parked in the garage and the curtains of the house were drawn. So, don't know. He's there. Right. His car's there. So the Randy wouldn't go to the parole officer, so they decided, we'll come to you. Okay. So that's the way they'll talk about. Because the parole officers can go see him anytime they want. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
So the detectives are like, we'll just go with you. So they do. They both parole officers and the 2 detectives go in here. They knock on the door. No one answered. One of the guys said he's in there. His car's in the garage. Mm-hmm. So they pounded on the door. They pounded on the front window. Said after a while, a sleepy Randy opened the door.
Here he goes.
And somehow didn't seem like alarmed to see his new and old parole officer. And
both standing next to each other, hand in hand.
Well, there's like 5 people on his porch. Yeah. And he's fine with that.
POs and investigators.
Yeah, so they said, where were you, Randy? I waited for you this morning, his parole officer said. He said, I thought my appointment was for the afternoon, or maybe it was for tomorrow. Well, which fucking one did you think it was for?
The afternoon or tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
You had to know which. You had to know you had an appointment, motherfucker.
I'd probably write that down.
Yeah.
Something that keeps me from going back to prison. I'm writing it down. Maybe I'll put it on a little calendar. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We'll figure this shit out. A Post-it note, possibly. Something.
Anyway.
So the parole officer instead introduces the detectives and said that the detective said, well, I'm investigating the murder of Julie Reitz, and that includes anybody who knows Julie. So Randy shook his head in confusion and said, I can't place the name. I don't know. Just can't place it.
Is that right?
Yeah, he said, I don't know. They said, I don't think I know anybody named Julie Reitz. I'm not sure. And I don't know what the hell I would have to do with any kind of murder investigation, so I don't know what you're talking about. So they said that, they said now they've heard from several people that he definitely knows her. That whether he killed her or not is up for debate, but
he's very well aware,
knows her is not up for debate. People have seen him at her house before. So they said at that point, they said, why don't you come down to the Springfield Police Department and we can talk about it. I have a picture of Julie back at the office. Maybe that'll refresh your memory a bit if we do that. So he said, give me a minute to get dressed and sure thing, I'll go with you. No problem there. So they do. They bring him down. They Mirandize him. And he said, sure, I'll talk to you. I don't know anybody named Julie Reitz. So they show him a picture of Julie Reitz. It's a graduation picture, so it's extremely recent. And he looked at the picture and he said, oh, you know what? Now that I look at her, I do recognize her. Yeah, I know this girl.
Now she looks familiar.
Yeah, he said, I went out with her once. And he said that he met her at work when he worked at the Faucet. And he said that he'd been fired from that place in October. He said he'd been to Julie's house only once, and that was several months ago. And he said it was just a small party with a roommate. I don't remember her roommate's name. There was nothing heavy about me and Julie. We were just friends, It was just I just knew this girl. They said, have you ever had sex with Julie Reitz? And he said, no, never. Shook his head. No. They said, did you see Julie over the Valentine's Day weekend? And he shook his head. He said, no, I haven't seen her. I hadn't called her. I haven't seen Julie for months.
Okay.
Don't know. And they said, well, can you recall your activities that weekend? And he said, yeah, I went to stay at my sister's house in Portland. I went out partying Saturday night, the 14th. Got back to my sister's house around 4 a.m. And they say, you were partying. Could you be more specific? And he said, I met a friend at the Marriott, him and his wife, and had a few drinks. Then I went to several other spots in the Portland area and had more drinks. I met a girl. Her name was Jeannie, but I can't recall her last name. She tripped around with me after that. We went to Baxter's Corner, Frank Peters Inn, and the Greenwood Inn. We stayed there until the bar closed. And they said, well, where does this Jeannie live? And he shook his head and said, we just made small talk. I never asked her last name or anything about her. I don't know where she lives.
Okay.
So they said, you hadn't heard about Julie Reitz's murder? And he said, no, I didn't know anything about it. Didn't hear it on the radio or the TV or from anyone.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, do you have any information that could help us? And he said, I just knew her casually. I haven't even thought about her for months. Didn't even remember her name when you brought it up.
Right. You said her name. I had no idea.
The picture, yeah. But he said the closest I've been to her house on Valentine's Day was the Greenwood Inn. And he said, I didn't even know she was murdered until you guys told me about it. And they said, do you own any weapons, Randy? And he said, no, none. None at all. I don't have anything. They said, okay, would you be willing to give samples of your hair, both head and pubic, and blood for analysis so you can be completely eliminated? And will you take a polygraph test? So now we're at the point where, rubber hits the road here. Will you actually do the test that will eliminate you if you didn't do this? So first he agreed to cooperate, said no problem. But then he said, now that I think about it, I don't know, maybe I should call my attorney here. I don't know. You guys, I've had bad experiences. Maybe you guys could be trying to set me up and all that. So they said, well, we can call for you. But then he said, no, I don't need my attorney. So I need my attorney. Okay, sure, we'll call him. Maybe I don't need him.
I'll just talk.
He's just dicking off, wasting time.
Yeah.
So they talked more about the evidence samples they needed and a lie detector test. And finally he said, I'm not cooperating, basically.
Okay.
They said, well, why? You said you would at first. Then you said you wanted to talk to your lawyer. And now you're saying no. What the fuck? And he said, quote, it's just against my principles to do that. I don't participate. Man. Yeah, I just don't participate in murder investigations. It's a weird thing I got, Some people don't eat like ham or shellfish.
Some people just don't answer questions.
My thing is, I don't give samples of my pubic hair. It's just the same thing.
I don't do shit.
Yeah. Thou shalt not disseminate pubes amongst the masses, I believe that's in the Bible, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So they backed off him a little bit, and they let the parole officers talk to him next, because the parole officers actually have a hammer they can bring down. Yeah. You know what I mean? The cops don't really have anything. So the parole officers said it might be better if you went back to Portland, where you will be fulfilling the stipulations of your early parole.
Yeah.
Might be better for you. In other words, we might not put you in prison as easily.
Yeah.
He said, quote, I don't want to do that.
No, I'm sure you don't.
But I will if I'm ordered to move back. If I have to stay out of jail, I'll do it. But I don't want to. So he said that, yeah, okay, fine, I'll cooperate about the polygraph. But then he said, no, maybe I won't. No, maybe not.
Yeah.
So he keeps going back and forth. And then he said, I'd rather move back to Portland. I'd rather go back to the penitentiary before I do that.
Really?
Before I take a polygraph, which is very strange. So they were like, this is real fucking weird. So he's left alone with the one detective, the Springfield detective. And this guy suggested that, dude, you can clear yourself of any connection if you just give hair and blood samples. If it's not you, it's not you. You'll be out.
Let's do it. Let's move on.
That's it. So at one point, Brandy's kind of, going back and forth. Yeah, but I don't want to. But, that's bullshit. Then at one point, he just blurts out, quote, just because I had sex with her, I wouldn't have killed her.
Sir?
Pardon? What's that now? Now, he had been vehemently denying any sexual intimacy, and now he said, just because I fucked her doesn't mean I killed her, which is wild. So the cop, though, let it pass. He was like, okay. He didn't jump right on him then, because then Randy would really know he's a suspect and he's in the shit. So Randy said he seemed kind of relieved when the questioning ended, and but he consented to have the residence searched. He said, go ahead and search. I'm curious to see what you could possibly hope to find. I have nothing to hide. Although I won't give you my samples of any of my physical shit at all, but I have nothing to hide. So they do that. They go search his place while Randy watches. And this is what they confiscate as evidence, or log as evidence. Quote, one set of bed sheets and a mattress pad from his bedroom. One mattress pad, some dried blood. Sheets contain many head and pubic hairs. Pubes just popping off this guy. How many pubes do you leave?
Jesus, man.
How many pubes are all over your bed?
Imagine going to the urinal after this guy.
Oh, my God. He's the guy. Whenever you're pissing, you're always like, who's dropping all these pubes in the urinals? It's him.
Falling out, man. Wear looser drawers. What are you doing? Wear some drawers. Jesus.
How much of your dick are you taking out to where you have that much pube access to be falling all over this urinal? I don't understand. Women, you're not going to understand what we're talking about. Yeah. Find your way into a men's room. Look in the urinal. Pubic hair all over it. No reason. Covered in pubes.
Yeah.
Fucking
There's
disgusting.
a great old story about Milton Berle that he had a dick contest. Somebody mentioned on a set somewhere that he had a huge dick, and then somebody else said they have a bigger dick than him. And
it's a known thing.
Yeah, and Milton Berle was like, "I'll take it out," and the guy was like, "Let's go then." So the guy pulls it out, pulls his out, and then somebody taps Uncle Milton and goes, just take out enough to win.
Yeah, he was famous for it. Like having to, this is a weird old man with a giant cock.
Just take out enough to win. Mm-hmm. It's the funniest goddamn thing I've ever heard.
It's so fucking funny.
So he must have been Burl must have just been a goddamn, like a woman's hairbrush, just throwing them. Like a woman in the shower, just a dead spider every urinal he hit.
Like when you take a sheet a dog's been laying on and you kind of flapping out and his hair floating all down. That's what Milton looks like every time he unzips his pants.
He grew up and was alive when the bush was like a symbol of humanity.
Virility.
And that man had all the dick, the whole.
He didn't need to trim back his pubes too to make it look bigger. He's like, listen,
he didn't.
I had extra pubes, so you're not terrified. That's what I do. I don't want anybody running out the door.
It runs up all of our shafts, I assume. I mean, as high up as it goes on mine, it's got to go on everybody else's too.
Yeah, no, that definitely doesn't stop at the bottom.
No, it's not.
So they also got one set of sheets from the hamper next to the bed, one brown wallet containing identification, and a receipt for the purchase of a gun.
Yeah.
I don't own any weapons. It's got a receipt for a gun.
Why do you have a receipt?
A .22 handgun from the G.I. Joe's store in Portland.
G.I. Joe's? That's a terrifying place.
And how the hell did they not get sued for that? I'm sure they did eventually.
Right.
One smoking device, and in parentheses, bong with residue.
Yeah.
One, which that right away will get him sent back to prison. One box of athletic adhesive tape. We know that is
right. Is it?
Suspicious.
It's like medical style. Yeah, that's not good.
Yep. A paper bag containing a .38 caliber or .357 caliber gun cleaning kit. Mm-hmm. Not the gun, but the kit. A cocaine snorter. I assume a little tube.
A little tutor. Yeah.
From vehicle glove compartment. A box of firecrackers out of the vehicle's glove compartment. So I mean, that's who gives a shit. It's got firecrackers. Yeah. So real weird. When they asked about the gun cleaning kit, he was evasive. He thought it was probably something he'd used before he'd gone to prison in 1975, and it just happened to still be among his possessions that he carries around from place to place. Yeah. You'd think you'd probably lose the gun cleaning kit that you don't have the gun for anymore if you were looking to, travel light.
If you don't have a gun at all, why are you traveling with a gun kit?
What's the point? So they said the thing that bothered him the most was the adhesive tape. He was real pissed at the adhesive tape.
Yeah.
He said, why are you taking my adhesive tape? Why are you doing that? He kept questioning them about that. Yeah. And they said, they might have something that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They just kind of gave him little platitudes to shut him up, basically. Yeah. So really, though, that was the thing that their eyes lit up on when they saw. Yeah. They said that when they saw the tape, the one detective said when he saw the tape, bells rung in his head, and they had come down searching for a clue for Julie Rietz's murder, but now they saw this composite picture of the I-5 killer who would disguise himself with the use of tape or a Band-Aid across his nose and would bound victims with the same tape.
All right.
And he fits the general description of that guy. So they said they thought maybe it was possible that they just stumbled onto something huge.
Yeah.
So they said that this is interesting. They had come in with a search warrant. They said, well, Randy had allowed them to search. They said if they had come in with a search warrant, they would only have been able to seize the things specifically listed in the warrant. Uh-huh. But the fact that he let them search means then they could just take whatever they want. Mm-hmm. So they wouldn't have been able to take the tape if they came with a warrant because it's just tape. And that's not on their list of shit they're looking for, basically. Yeah. They're looking for a gun or something. So, but Randy thought he had nothing to fear, so he allowed them to seize whatever. But he seemed real freaked out about the tape, but he just kept asking about it. They said there was about 6 rolls of tape in the box, and one was missing. They could see that he was trying to pretend he wasn't antsy about the tape, but he really seemed like he kept looking at it. So, not good. Not good. So. Then he drove off in his gold Beetle. Legally, he was free to go. I don't understand how. There's a couple things in there that are immediate parole violations. I don't get why they didn't just
allowed to go home.
I don't get it. So he took off. But they said, obviously, the fact that he lied initially about knowing Julie Reitz, they said maybe that was within the realm of possibility. He does date a lot of women. He talks to a lot of women. He might have forgotten her name. That's possible. Sure. But the adhesive tape might match the torn edges of bonds retrieved from victims, and that might be something. So very, very interesting, though. They said that he was, when confronted here, they didn't like his demeanor, basically, especially about the tape. They were like, it was just so suspicious that he just kept digging himself in a hole, being more and more suspicious, which is the thing. So they needed more information. So they drove back and basically, they drove back to his house to basically spy on him.
Yeah.
We're going to keep an eye on him. So
stake him out.
They said his car wasn't in the garage, and it wasn't parked on the street, and it wasn't parked near the house on the street or anything like that. Yeah. So they set up a discreet stakeout so they could observe the comings and goings. So they said 3 p.m., no sign of activity. 3:34, a small boy hopped off the school bus and headed for the front door. The detective spoke with him. He gave his name, said he was 6 years old, said, my mom's at work. I stay with the neighbors until she gets home. Yeah. So he told investigators also that Randy had lived in the room in their house for about a month. He's only lived here a month. He's done so much.
Yeah.
They said, well, where does he go when he goes to work? And he said, he doesn't work. He plays ball with us. That's an odd job.
Yeah.
That's fun.
You guys paying him? Not really.
Oh, man. They said, have you ever seen any of Randy's guns? Does he have guns like the cops do on television? And the kid said, no, Randy doesn't have any guns. And he just skipped off and whatever. Okay. That was that. So then at 5:24, mom comes home here, landlord, and she sees these 3 detectives, and they talk to her, and they said, we'd like to talk to you about your boarder here. Yeah. And she didn't seem real surprised either.
No?
She said, well, I've started to become a little suspicious of his activities myself. As a matter
is
of
that
fact.
right?
Yeah.
She's finally just starting to question it, huh?
Yeah. She said that she'd met Randy by placing an ad in the paper. She didn't know where his money came from. He received a small stipend from unemployment, and she thought maybe his parents helped him out. She said, but he spends an awful lot of money. I don't know where it all comes from. They said, well, what does he do with his time? And she said, I think he goes to college or is planning to go to college. Yeah. They said, what about girlfriends, women? She said, I've seen a few he brought to the house. And they said, to stay overnight? She said, I don't think so. I go to bed early because I work hard, but no, I don't think so. And then they said, do you know where Randy was over Valentine's Day weekend? And this is for Julie Reitz. And they said, she said, I think it's quite possible that he went to Portland. So they're like, interesting. Then he asked if Randy ever charged long-distance phone calls to your bill here. Okay. Does he ever do that? And she said, oh, yeah, all the time. He calls long distance all the time. So they ask if it's possible to look at the bill. She hands it over, said, here's the bill. This is with calls through the middle of February. So the guy looks at it, and he's looking for calls to Beaverton, but there wasn't any. Yeah. One caught his eye, though. There was a third-party charge. Mm-hmm. Third party. So he called somewhere else, but charged it to his home phone, which he used to be able to do. From Mount Shasta, California. Uh-huh. Okay. The billing on the call was to the roommates, to his landlord, his home phone here. So the date is February the 3rd, and the detectives just said Shasta, February the 3rd. Why does that sound, why is that familiar? And then the other guy looked up and was like, holy shit. They were all looking at each other, and they're like, holy shit, Shasta, February 3rd. And all the cops are looking at each other because February 3rd, there was these things that happened in Lake Shasta. Yeah. And they're like, holy shit, he was there. So at some point, the landlord is looking back at the detective, and she said, quote, it's him, isn't it? Yeah. She said, Randy's the I-5 killer, isn't he? I've been afraid of that, but I didn't want to say it out loud.
Oh, my God.
Hey, everybody, just a public service announcement. If you think that anybody in your house is possibly a killer so horrible they've given a name to them, please go ahead and tell that to whoever you need to tell that to. Let's not say I didn't want to say it out loud. Didn't want to be rude here. So the cop didn't say anything. All he said is, can we have this phone bill? Mm-hmm. And she was like, take it, yeah. They said, we'd like to talk to you at the police station. And she said, I think it would be, and they also said, I think it would be wise if you and Mickey moved out of here for a while, you and your son.
Yeah.
Take a little hike
He might
here.
be a little upset, yeah.
Yeah. They said, can you find another place to stay for a few nights? And she said, yeah. And they said, good, the sooner you and your son can get out of here, the better. So then they arranged for continuous surveillance of the house by Springfield police. They said they couldn't arrest him yet. That would be premature, but they wanted to know where the fuck he was and follow him around. So in case he goes to kill someone, they could be there.
Yeah.
So the landlord threw some shit in a bag and took off. And she said, as she left, she said, quote, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
You just said you thought he was a serial killer.
Yeah,
he's a really nice guy. Wow. I liked him right away when he came to rent the room. If you met him, you wouldn't even think he could do anything violent. You don't think he would have ever hurt us, do you? You don't think it's really him, do you? This is just a maybe, isn't it? Now she's like, I haven't put my son and myself in mortal danger for the last month, have I? I think every parent needs to know that. So the cop can tell that this lady is, she's spiraling out in her own brain.
Yeah, and she's regretting turning him in or feeling like that it's him because what if it's not? She still has that in her head.
Yeah, then he's a nice guy and I just fucked him over. He's a guy trying to get his life together and I'm fucking him over. So the cop said, it's just a maybe. Yeah. She doesn't want to freak her out. He said, we just want to be absolutely sure that you guys are safe. This way we can check out the phone numbers and when we talk to some of the other detectives, then we'll know more and, Yeah. She said, quote, but if he was a killer, I would have known it, wouldn't I? And the guy said, I don't know. That's what we're trying to find out. Not sure. So then they look at it all, and this detective said, all of a sudden it became obvious. It was a map of the I-5. Mm-hmm. Woodfield was addicted to the phone. He made thousands of calls. He had girlfriends everywhere. They basically said they broke it down into Randy's two personalities. He said Randy the bad boy and Randy the good boy. That's who he's got. He's got both of those. Yeah. They said that in interviews, they're going to try to push him into a corner with facts and then ask to talk to Randall to try to squeeze information out of him. Sure. So they said Randy's the bad boy, Randall's the good boy. That's how it works. So they said we want to really get Randall in front of us, basically. Yeah. So, which is very fucking interesting. By the way, years and years later, this detective said Randy wrote him letters from prison asking about his family and life. Just like what? Like they were good friends, just like a college friend. How you been? How's everything going? That's how he was writing him letters. Just the detective that busts him later. So, real weird.
How's your fam?
No shit. They said that it was a coincidence that on March 3rd, when all this shit was going down, the I-5 investigation, the whole squad had scheduled a joint meeting together. And that was in Eugene. They had no way of knowing it here, but everybody was gathered in Eugene that morning. They didn't know what was going on in the other place. So the Eugene Police Department is the host of this. They said there wasn't that much new information. There was some, but they said it was just that the agencies involved in this felt that a brainstorming session might help. You get a bunch of people in a room, you never know. Yeah. They said they were no clues, no closer to catching anybody than they'd been a month ago, and they said that they're getting pissed off, basically.
Sure.
They said there'd been several robberies by the Band-Aid guy on his nose here in Eugene, and surveillance stakeouts have been in operation since February 19th. Oregon State troopers had worked 12-hour shifts observing likely targets for the I-5 killer.
Oh.
They'd staked out the grocery cart, Tom's Market, Dunkin' Donuts, the Dairy Mart, and the A&W Drive-In.
Yeah.
Hundreds of man hours, people just sitting there staring at a fucking Dunkin' Donuts for fucking a 12-hour shift, and they got nothing out of it. So the night before this meeting on March 2nd, they thought they were on to something. They were positioned inside the Dairy Mart at 8 p.m. when they saw a man who matched the description of the suspect walk into the store, seeming nervous and glancing toward the storeroom area where the troopers were hidden.
Yeah.
It took him a while, but the guy made a purchase and left. And they said they couldn't stop him because he didn't do anything wrong. They couldn't go out and harass the guy, but they remembered him. They just kept a mental note of him.
Yeah.
March 3rd, at that meeting, a technician from the Oregon State Crime Lab announced that there was no doubt they were looking for a man with type B blood. Tests on all the semen that had been left never varied. They said, we can eliminate any suspects that don't have this type blood. That's what Kamenek said to the group. Only 9 to 10% of the population has type B. This will cut down considerably on the paperwork. We're going to ask all of you to send your existing information to me at the Marion County Sheriff's Office. It's going to be programmed into a computer and checked against all suspects, which back then probably took a week for the computer to do. Sure, yeah. I'm sure it would take 12 seconds now. So it was agreed that this information, that the information released to the press would include nothing but a location of an incident, type of crime, and description of suspect. So they're like, the media is going to be pissed because we're not going to let them in on shit, but this is the way we got to do this. Have to do it. We need more info. We need to hold some shit back here so this guy doesn't completely change his pattern.
Yeah.
So they said that, they ended up driving back to Salem, and then they ended up having to come back to Eugene, the detectives, because they tried to, as we know, they were trying to eliminate him or include him as the murderer of Julie Reitz, and now he looked like a pretty goddamn good suspect. So now 8 hours later, they were in the middle of looking at this case in Mount Shasta and all this shit. Yeah. They just thought maybe he killed one girl, and now they're like, is he the serial killer we're looking for here?
A bad man?
Is he bad? So, once the cops got back up to where they were, they got a call saying, can you come back down here? We may have something for you. We have a suspect under surveillance who may look awfully good to you. The man looks like your composites, and we can place him in Shasta County on February 3rd. So they're like, oh, well, fuck yes. They go there. They talk to his landlord again, who went over the dates when Randy had been away from her home. Would you imagine? I wouldn't know what dates my roommate was away or there.
I don't give a fuck about that person.
Care at all.
No.
But they said every out of town crime had happened on the nights he was gone. Like it fit right into his schedule.
Oh.
According to the landlord, also Randy was a constant traveler on the I-5 freeway.
Yeah.
So Kamenek, the cop, is looking at the mugshot of Randy, and he's just looking at him and staring at it, and he's like, fuck, it's got to be this guy.
Yeah.
This is an ex-con. He did this robbery. Criminal history reveals the oral sodomy charges were dropped, the ones that he had before that. That would explain why they hadn't found his name in their search of parole records for murderers and sex offenders, because the charges were dropped, so that they hadn't been in the computer. They said there was also a lot more. According to medical records at the penitentiary, he had B-negative blood. So they were like, he drove a fucking Volkswagen Bug. I mean, he's got everything. They have the adhesive tape. They got it all. So they get the phone bill out that they got from the landlord there and made shitloads of calls.
Yeah.
Apparently on January 18th, the night Sherry Hull and Beth Wilmot had been shot and that Sherry died and Beth survived with the thick skull. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Randy called a Salem number at 9:01 p.m. from Independence, Oregon. He called a Newburgh number an hour and a half later from Woodburn, north of Salem on the I-5. He basically just left a blueprint of everything that he did. I mean, here we have maps of the kid. You can put over his phone records and the map right along the times and exact places of the murders.
And he doesn't know that was happening. No.
If you took it like a clear piece and overlaid it over the other, it was perfect. They go together perfectly.
Yeah, like those laminates that the fifth grade teacher would use for the.
Yep, I was just going to say for an overhead.
Solutions for the overhead projector.
For the overhead projector that kids won't know what the fuck that is anymore, I'm sure.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Take that. So, they're like, this is wild. It's just a blueprint. They're like, this is crazy. On January 28th, he called to Medford, and there was collect calls from Medford, Grants Pass, Ashland, Wairika, and Redding between January 29th and February 4th. The detective, knowing all the crimes and the dates, were like, this is perfect. I mean, it couldn't be any better. They said it's going to take a shitload of work to figure out where he was, who he visited, verify his locations, but this is a fucking map that they just made for us. So they have a huge crew of detectives involved in this now, and they have this, they're just looking at Randy is the suspect now. It is all about that shit. So they have a big list of everything. They said that his landlord said that he conducts his activities late at night, leaves her residence on the dates corresponding with the attacks by the I-5 killer, drives a bug, was in Mount Shasta when the California murders in Mountain Gate happened, en route to Medford at the time of the Medford and Grants Pass robberies. Prior behavior pattern fits psych profile established for the I-5 killer. The Beaverton victim, Julie Reitz, was shot in the back of the head. Previous victims had been shot in the back of the head, temple, or right side of the head. Fits the physical description of the killer. He's 6'1.5", 170, and athletic. Yeah. Wore gloves similar in all aspects to racquetball gloves. Plays racquetball frequently. Has B-negative blood. They said, this looks fucking great. This looks perfect, Kamenek said here. He said now he needed a search warrant of the house that he lived in here to get more physical evidence before Randy destroys everything, basically, if he knows to do that. So they said, fuck yeah, we do. So they want to get a search warrant from the judge here. The district attorney's going to help them out. Then some shit happens. This is when grown people act like kids and fuck everything up for everybody. Territorial bullshit starts to happen between the police forces. Oh, yeah.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
We're going to be the ones to crack this case. No, you're not. We are. No, we are.
Yeah, he's got a nickname. We want the credit.
I want to be the one in the newspaper walking him to the fucking car. That's what it is. So some of the authorities in Eugene were pissy. They felt like the detectives from Beaverton and Salem were kind of shitting on them and being on their turf here. And yeah, they had informed the Springfield Police Department of their intent to question Woodfield, but they had not told the Eugene and Lane County authorities before the fact of that, so they're pissed off. You talked to our guy before we did.
Yeah.
They said the suspect might well have committed offenses in other areas, but he was in Lane County now, and whatever would be done with him should be up to the Lane County DA, not you fucking people. Okay. Should be up to Pat Horton.
Got it.
And Pat Horton doesn't want to take any direction from detectives in any other jurisdictions. He wants them to wait for them to be done, and then we'll give you what we have.
Okay, got it.
So it's fucking crazy. So the DA said that Randy is home asleep, probably in the house. He's under constant surveillance by officers, and if he left the house, he's going to be followed. So there's no hurry. It's all good. Not going to hurt anybody. And he said, we're not going to do anything to speed this up at all, basically. He's under surveillance. He won't hurt anybody else, so fuck it.
All right.
Yeah. And he said this jurisdiction that actually arrested him could count on a lot of headlines and a lot of credit, and they were going to get it, which is crazy. They're having a fucking turf war. Ridiculous. They said this happened in Los Angeles with Charles Manson between county and city officials.
Really?
Wanting the bust. Absolutely. It happened with Ted Bundy when dozens of departments wanted to be the ones to catch him.
Oh.
Yeah, you get glory. And back then, I mean, now it's all over, but back then, a newspaper headline of you on the front page, and that's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know? So Lane County said, we are doing it our way.
Okay.
And this is fucking horrifying. So the parole officer, the new one down in Eugene, said he'd be willing to arrest Woodfield as he did violate his parole by moving to Eugene without permission. But the DA said no. The Lane County DA said no, leave him out there. Don't arrest him for that, which makes no sense. Put the case together while he's in jail. The Marion County detectives thought Woodfield was their guy, but they were being blocked from arresting him by this DA as well.
Right.
So they were like, this is our guy. This is fucking ridiculous, man. Like, why are we fighting over this? Well, let's all get in the picture together. You know, who cares? Springfield police chief described Kamenek as probably the most professional police chief I've ever encountered, and tried to say you should listen to him too and let him be involved. Finally, it was agreed that Woodfield would be left alone and watched.
Really?
Yeah. So a couple guys here, Chuck Vaughn and Jim Pex, are working to analyze the blood and semen stains and trying to match pubic hairs. Imagine if that was your job, staring at two pubes together.
Like that.
How close are these pubes to each other?
I don't like that at all.
That sounds fucking disgusting. They're trying to match this shit to the sheets and all that kind of thing here.
Yeah.
Another detective here will try to. They have to get a hold of Beth Wilmot so she can look at mug shots of Randy to see if that's the guy as well. Dave Kamenek's going to hang out in Eugene because basically that they're letting them watch him and hoping they don't lose him, basically. Everybody else now has to depend on this county that they're going to keep a good eye on him, which is crazy. Kamenik called to Portland to Detective Sergeant Rod Englert of the county sheriff's office and said, get down here. We're going to need you as a referee. Your county is one that doesn't want the I-5 killer, so you can be an impartial mediator. I think we've got him, and I'm sure of it, but we were starting to lose our momentum here. Okay. So he said, can we get a third party to just come in? Somebody has nothing to do with this to referee this shit. The guy said, sure, what the fuck, why not? Yeah. So he said that Kamenik realized it was 4 o'clock in the morning and he didn't have any money to get a cheap hotel room or anything. So the chief in Springfield let him stay at the jail until dawn.
Really?
He slept in jail that night.
Wow.
Literally in a jail bunk. It was that or the back seat of his car.
Good Christ.
Or someone could have thrown him $20. Jesus Christ, back then that's all it would have cost.
Yeah, you could have found something for $29.
Yeah, they left the cell door open for him.
That's nice.
They didn't that's nice. He didn't have to put his cup back and forth against the bars in the morning. So, it's very, very interesting. By the way, there was a couple of murderers in there as well.
Really?
He said the guy was like, I don't know, their cells are locked. I'll be fine. He says that Kamenik said that he laughs about it. He said, I snore like a truck, and I woke up to see the female dispatcher from Springfield staring at me with a look of panic on her face. She hadn't seen me come in and didn't know who I was. She thought I was a dangerous felon lying there snoring in an open cell.
And I was about to go wake him up and tell him he's snoring.
Yeah. She said I could wake up and go crazy at any minute. But then somebody said, the fucking door's open because that's a detective, dipshit.
Probably okay.
Yeah. So anyway, Kamenik is down in Eugene. He's been down there for about 36 hours trying to fight this out here. The DA is still insisting there's going to be no action. Woodfield's going to be observed, and that's it. Around-the-clock surveillance. They said he was followed wherever he went, but everyone's fighting. So it's still just so much tension down there. Kamenik said it was our case. Monty and I had worked it for months, day and night. We had all the information. We were closing in, and we were told to go home and let somebody else take over.
It's brutal.
Then the press starts hanging out at the Springfield police office, basically.
Hell yeah.
To try to get they hear
problems.
something's going. Yeah. And there's always a leak in the police. I mean, there's always some reporter giving some fucking dispatcher $50 or something. Yeah. So they said the interest of the media made it an even bigger deal. A news story appeared in Salem on March 4th saying that Kamenik and Holloway were on the way north to Washington State to check out leads there on the I-5 killer. Okay. So they didn't really give much on the activity in Eugene, but then a reporter who knew him saw him in Eugene.
Okay.
So they knew he was on the I-5 task force, and they were like, that means there's got to be something going on with the I-5 killer in Eugene, and that's why all the press hang out there. That'll do it. So, they said that the whole case was almost completely fucked up when a television news crew unknowingly parked next to Randy's gold Volkswagen in a theater parking lot while he was inside watching a movie with one of his girlfriends.
Yeah.
This is wild. So the police were watching, hoping that, Randy wouldn't come out of the theater and see the fucking TV crew next to the cop car. Because, a cop car can blend. It's an unmarked car.
Yeah.
A television van is really, really, really conspicuous. You're going to notice that.
That one says it. That one screams it. Yeah.
That one says it. So, they said that basically all Randy knew was what the cops talked to him and kind of connected him tenuously to Julie Reitz, and he thought he did okay with that. He was a little nervous when he saw that his, roommate and her son had left the house. He wondered why she left, but who the fuck knows? He said, she doesn't know anything about me or what I do. Who cares? Yeah. On March 4th, the Eugene Register-Guard newspaper had a banner headline saying, "Police hint and break and bandit case."
Oh.
So there's that. Now the cops are like, shit. So they had to call a news conference to try to control this.
Yeah, calm everything down.
So much going on. This is March 4th. March 3rd at 8 a.m., they were like, let's talk to him and his parole officers. By March 4th, there's jurisdictions fighting, police shit, media headlines.
Shit's
it's fucking
happening.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Shit is popping really hard. So, they're doing that. They call a news conference and say the investigation has taken a significant turn today. but it's not over by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of hard work to be done. No charges have been filed.
Okay.
So then that afternoon, the papers and a television anchorman announced to the public that the police were questioning a man named Randy.
Mm-hmm.
This is not good. So the reporters are trying to find out who this roommate is and all that.
Be Randy.
Well, they're trying to find the roommate, too, to find out where she would have gone so they can interview her.
Okay.
They found his house and camped out right alongside the fucking surveilling officers.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Like the entirety of the local media just hanging out next to an unmarked police car.
Yeah.
So this is crazy.
They're going to blow the case.
Oh, this is fucking, this is a ridiculous, imagine this is a comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, there's a news guy. Wait, there's more. What the fuck? Where's the van?
Actually, Stakeout with the one with Rosie O'Donnell.
That's Teddy from Channel 4. Fuck, this is fucked, man. Our surveillance is live on the news right now. This is not good. This is so goddamn bad. This is awful shit here. Neighbors are being interviewed.
Channel 12 here with live surveillance. And
neighbors are being interviewed about what they know about people in the house. Like, you couldn't be more obvious than this.
Sir, with the binoculars, do you know anything?
Yeah.
I do. Get the fuck out of here.
And Randy, they're not ready to arrest him yet. If I'm Randy, I'm getting in the fucking car and I'm driving to another state.
For sure.
I'm driving in Nevada or something, somewhere I haven't killed anybody. I'm going to go hang out there for a while.
And where they can't follow me because I'm out of their jurisdiction.
Yeah, maybe they won't follow. Yeah, so it's fucking wild, man. They said on the news, one of the commenters said that the roommate and her son had lived there, quote, but they're not there now and nobody knows what happened to them.
Oh,
in other words, they could be dead and buried.
Yeah.
In other words, they're down the road at the neighbor's house. You fucking idiots. So neighbor children told the reporters about the nice guy who lived in that house, an ex-pro football player that they all liked.
Yeah.
We love him. Yeah, Randy's great. He's the best.
Yeah.
So the whole time this is happening, Randy's in the house behind the curtains, just like, holy shit,
watching
man.
Him. Yeah.
Well, he called Shelly and told her to come to Eugene. He didn't say anything that was going on. He only told her that we have to live in the Portland area because his parole officer is making him.
Yeah.
She packed her car, rented a trailer, and started to drive to Oregon.
Okay.
Had no fucking idea that she was walking into massive police surveillance or anything like that. So anyway, Kamenek then said, we needed to get this away from this district attorney down there.
For sure, yeah.
He said, it was our case. We said, the hell with it, and we moved. The press could sense it. Suddenly, everybody was doing something. We told the people who would do what, and who was going to go where. We couldn't just sit here and watch Randy Woodfield.
Right.
So he said that, he had to do it. So 1:45 on the afternoon, 1:45 on the afternoon of March 5th, 2 fucking days ago, they had no idea shit about this guy. That's crazy.
Wide open.
Kamenek meets Randy. He and somebody from the Eugene Police Department knock on the door, and he opens the door, lets them in. He was calm and polite. He nodded slightly when Kamenek told him that you matched the physical appearance of a guy we seek. And he does. Kamenek was astounded to see Randy. He said he thought he could have picked him out of a crowd any time. He said he was muscular, obviously an athlete. He said basically it looks like he could have been posing for the composite pictures.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sat down and have them drawn of him here. So he didn't seem overly hostile, but he seemed like to have some anxiety when they demanded to know why they had taken his gun cleaning kit and his adhesive tape. He said, they took all the rolls I had. I can't understand it. 1 roll should have been enough. I need my adhesive tape.
Here's the thing, Randy.
So they were
compare him to a lot of things.
Yeah, well, they were wondering, does he know enough to know that they can compare? Because in 1981, people didn't know you could compare torn edges of tape. That wasn't something that came up on CSI or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know that he would. Who would even?
If Kojak hadn't done it, nobody would know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Beretta.
They were like, or Beretta or somebody like that. I think he just shot people, though, Beretta. I think.
Is that Beretta did? Like his wife?
I think so. Maybe.
Did he get
he shot his wife.
Did he get convicted of that?
Robert Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he get convicted of it?
I thought he did.
I don't know.
I think so. I haven't seen him out there. He doesn't have a podcast, so I assume he got convicted.
He died in 23. He may have had one. Shit.
I mean, unless you see a guy, if someone gets acquitted of something, expect to never not see them again because they're never going to shut the fuck up. But Karen Reed, you're never going to get. I hope you all love Karen Reed because she's going to be everywhere. He was acquitted. Okay.
Acquitted.
Yeah.
But was found liable in a wrongful death.
Yes.
Just like all of them. And
that's what ends up
expect that
well,
as well. Yeah.
Well, there it only has. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I mean, it only has to be. It's 51%, 49% there. Yeah. It's a lot less of a burden of proof. Yeah. So, it's a little easier to prove.
He was acquitted? Are you shitting me?
That's wild.
That's a crazy one. I can't believe it.
We'll have to do that as a bonus sometime.
And he's one of the most arrogant sons of bitches that ever lived.
Oh, yeah.
He was such a dick. God damn it.
Complete dick the whole time sitting there in court. So they didn't know what to do here. Yeah. He said, I'm probably going to be violated on my parole, and it's not my fault. She told me I had to go back to Portland, and I was going to leave this morning, and then they told me I could go later. He said, the police are following me around. I think it's the Beaverton guys. The neighbor kid came over and said the police were watching me, and they think I'm the I-5 bandit. That's great. So he's got, there's always a leak somewhere. There's no secrets. So Kamenik said, did the Beaverton officers look through your house here? And he said, yes, they did. And they said, would you have any objection to us taking a look? And he said, I'll show you around. Do whatever you got to do. Okay. Gave him a tour, showed him his Packers souvenirs, bragged about his gold Volkswagen, explaining it was a limited edition Super Beetle. He said, a friend did that damage in the front end. I may sue him because he wasn't covered by insurance. Huh? They said, what made you decide to move down to Eugene? And he said, I was trying to find work so I could go to college at the same time. I've applied for jobs at O'Callahan's, DeFrisco's, the Atrium, the Tavern on the Green. I'm going to get my degree in PE, physical education, and hope to manage an athletic club, like one that has racquetball, for instance. Mm-hmm. So then they're talking to him. They could see that he was, he's talking about sports and all that. So they're letting him do that, letting him be comfortable.
Yeah.
He said he talked about the Packers and said he probably should have stayed with basketball instead of football. Maybe that was his mistake. He would have been better at that.
Yeah.
They discussed topics that they talk about, bullshitting, just little things. And, they said he looked just like the guy, but they said he's calm, pleasant, conversational. This is not what they would expect from a guy who's under this kind of pressure. So they were like, could this be the wrong fucking guy?
It's possible.
Talking to him is just like the roommate. I'm telling you, he's a nice guy. It's not him.
Bad to violate him over this.
They're talking to him and they're like, this doesn't seem like our guy or how our guy would act.
Yeah.
It's really fucking weird. So they asked him about his prison record, and he admitted the exposing incidents and the armed robbery. He explained all of his sexual problems were in the past. He said, I'd never do that kind of stuff again. I don't have a problem anymore. Uh-huh. So then they look all around the room. Kamenik is looking around, and that's when he sees fresh ashes in the fireplace and a can of lighter fluid on the hearth of the fireplace.
Let's have a look-see.
He said, looks like you had a fire. And Randy said, no, the landlady's kid plays in the fireplace a lot. He probably left that stuff in there. The wood in the garage is so green, we have to use lighter fluid to get it going. So he said, okay, that's fine. That's fine. He said, whatever the fuck was in there, it's gone now, so I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. He said maybe the lab guys can analyze something from the ashes, but probably not. They said maybe it was the fake beard, could have been the hats, the jackets. He burned some shit in there. It's all full of ashes.
Yeah.
So that's no good. So they said, your landlady's not here? And he said, I don't know where she is. I haven't seen her in 2 days. I'm probably going to get evicted. Do you know where she is? And the cop said, I think the Beaverton police talked to her. They probably know where she is. So Randy said, are you going to violate my parole? And Kamenik said, I don't know. I hear they found a bong or some dope or something when they searched your room. And Randy didn't say anything. They said he continued to be just soft-spoken and conversational.
Yeah.
They said when he talked about sports, he would kind of, pump up and be glowing about it and shit. They said he was real likable. Kamenik said he could see why people were drawn to him. Mm-hmm. They said he expected a cruder, rougher man. Okay. A guy that you would say, oh, yeah, I could see that guy killing people. That's what you'd expect.
This is a piece of shit here, yeah.
Yeah, but then when Kamenik presses a little harder, Randy's goes from Randall to Randy at that point.
Okay.
Randy's the nice guy, amiable. Randall is the guy, he's the convict. Yeah. So they said, Randall, would you give us a hair sample so we could eliminate you as a suspect in the I-5 case? And he said, nope, I wouldn't do that.
No?
They said, would you submit to a polygraph? He said, nope. They said, can you account for your whereabouts on certain dates? He said, only if I could find notes on the dates you might be interested in. I think I've answered enough of your questions. I can't see what this has to do for me. So they said, do you have any questions? And he said, no, I understand. He signed the Miranda card with his first name, which is interesting. Yeah. And he signed it the version he hates. He signed it Randy.
Really?
Like it's the other person. It's fucking Randy now. Now he's Randy. He doesn't even like being called Randy, so it's odd that he would sign it like that.
Yeah,
so
very interesting.
They said, have you contacted anyone in the Salem area recently? And he said that he had a grandmother and an aunt and an uncle that lived there, and he tried to keep in touch with them. They said, have you ever been to Corvallis? And he said, never. I don't know anyone in that area. They said, have you ever been to Seattle? No. Tacoma? He said, my best friend lives there. He's an assistant professor at Pacific Lutheran University and the long-distance track coach. They said, how long since you visited him? Right. And he said, I can't recall. He came to Portland to visit me. He said, how about Albany? Ever stopped there for coffee or anything? And he said, nope, don't know anyone there.
Okay.
He said, when was the last time you went to Portland? Last weekend. My parents just got back from a tour of Taiwan. They asked him about female friends. He said, I got Shelly, my fiance. There's a young woman who worked as a babysitter in Eugene. That's the one he was plowing that was supposed to be watching the 6-year-old. So that eased the tension a little bit, the girlfriends. They said, when was the last time you were in Redding? And he said, Redding, California? I can't really remember. It's been quite a while. They said, we understand you made a trip to California. You didn't stop in Redding? And he said, I told you, I don't remember. And they were like, seemed like he was really fucking lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said, do you have any other kinds of tape around here?
Great question.
And he said strong tape, like they use for packages, strapping tape. And they said, what kind of hat do you usually wear? He says, I don't wear hats. They smash my afro down.
My afro.
Fucking up my fun puff. They said, is that natural curl or permanent? He said, it's naturally curly.
Okay.
It's not. He's getting perms. He's lying about his hair to a homicide detective.
What a dork.
Just say you get perms, asshole. What difference does it fucking make? That's so ridiculous, man. He's such a silly.
Very embarrassing.
He's such a silly goose, that Randy, isn't he? Jesus Christ. That's the way. That's what we call him from now. Just a silly goose. This is all so gross that's the only way I can deal with this. It's just, he's just a silly goose, this guy. I don't know what else to call him. This is fucking ridiculous. So he said, why? I'm going to get it cut today because my girlfriend's coming up. And they said, have you ever had sex with a girl in this house? He said, no, I never had sex with my landlady, which is not the question.
Not what we asked.
It's not the answer. They said, when was the last time you had sex? Randy stared at Kaminick and said, that's none of your business. I think I've answered enough questions.
That's a good answer, I suppose.
He clutched his cardigan and said, well, how dare I never. My goodness. Randy's getting offended.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So then the other detective said, we're taking you into custody on a parole violation, and cuffed him. And he said, I expected that. I'm not going anywhere. I might as well go with you.
Okay.
Stuck here anyway. So they went down to the Springfield police station, and they were very, very happy that they had him, but they were also very, very unhappy that he had a fireplace full of ashes that probably was evidence that they really, really fucking needed. He said there'd been a lot of ashes. This wasn't like the one little pile, like he burned 2 sheets of paper or something. This was a pile of shit.
Emptied. Yeah.
This was a pile of shit. And he said he could have burned so much evidence here, so much evidence. And he said the surveillance tactics have kept him under observation. He hadn't ran, but all the officers in the world watching him wouldn't have stopped him from destroying the evidence. So now he's fucked.
Yeah.
So they're bringing him in, and now they're going to talk to him, and we'll leave it off there.
There we go.
Because this is incredible, though. They've only been investigating this dude for 3 days, and they have all
already got him. Yeah.
It's already insane. Well, not quite.
Well, yeah.
So we are going to get into his interview in the station after that,
Okay.
and that's when shit gets real interesting. We'll get into that next week when we do part 5 of the I-5 killer. And he's a fucking mess, and it only gets weirder from here. So
looking forward to it.
buckle up, everybody. Check that out. And then make sure you head over to whatever app you're listening on. I guess you wouldn't head over. You're on it right now listening.
You got it, yeah.
So while it's up,
already open.
Go ahead and leave a review. Give us 5 stars. That really helps drive the show up the charts. And this is a lot of work. So if you like it, please tell the world about it. It helps out a lot. So do that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get all your merchandise, everything from skateboards to coffee mugs. Get your tickets for Small Town Murder live shows. There's a few left in San Diego if you want to come out and see us there. Those are always fun shows in San Diego. I like that
Parties
crowd.
Yeah,
it's a good
great
crowd.
Place. Yeah,
it's a good crowd there. A few left in Philly, D.C., and Seattle at this point. So get in there and get your tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. You can follow us on social media at Crime and Sports, wherever you follow shit. So hang out and do that for sure. Get yourself Patreon.
Yes.
Do yourself a favor. Patreon.com/crimeinsports. That's where you get anybody over $5 a month or above, you can say. So and you can give more if you want, but what you're going to get is immediately you're going to get hundreds of back episodes of bonus episodes you've never heard on to binge immediately upon subscription. There's hundreds of them. Then you get new ones every other week. This week you're going to get the Jeff Alm episode that we couldn't give you last week because Jimmy was too sick. And also we're going to do the poop cruise for Small Town Murder.
Great.
And a little bit of Titan Submersible too. Billionaire hubris-filled dipshits fucking imploding in the ocean. That's interesting as fuck, and I got to talk about that a little bit. So we'll get into all of that. That'll be fun, and then you definitely want that. So that's what you get. Then, on top of all of that, you get all 3 shows, Crime and Sports, Your Stupid Opinion, Small Town Murder, all ad-free as well through your Patreon feed. We can't possibly give you any more.
It's hard,
unless we come over and help you with your groceries, maybe mow your lawn, clean your gutters.
At the check stand. Yeah,
I don't know what else we can do.
Follow you around to do more things for you.
That's the thing. We don't have time for that, so we're doing this now. So for sure, do that. Do yourself a favor because the bonus episodes are so much fun.
Yeah.
And then you get them ad-free, and then you get a shout-out as well.
There you go.
I'd like this to happen right now. Jimmy, hit me with the names of the best fucking people in the world. I'm going to call them the best people in the world because that's what they are. They're the people who hang with us, who are just our fucking.
The best for us,
They're our ride or dies, and we fucking love them. So thank you so much, Jimmy. Hit me with the names of these fantastic goddamn people right now before I explode.
Executive producers this week are Gary Howard, Dr. Elizabeth Minton. Congrats, Doc. Amanda Berry. Thank you. That was very kind of you.
Thank you. That was really cool of you. Appreciate you.
I don't have to tell much more. You know what I mean.
Deadpan,
whore-faced bitch. Not Amanda Berry, but whoever wrote that. Lisa Gentile, Gentily, I don't know. Happy Hour, checking in Boardman, Oregon. He is probably a bored man up there. He travels so much for work, and he checks in every other week or every week or so with
we appreciate. We like hearing
a
where
couple
you are.
bucks, and then reminds us where he's at. It's great. Maria Thompson, Jimmy P. Felter Snatch. I'll bet you that's not a real person.
How dare
Arthur
you?
Lane.
You don't know anything about who snatches. I'm feeling.
Koozie Carrion, Mark Such. Happy birthday, Mark.
Happy birthday.
May a beer appear that you may sheath with that koozie. Other producers this week, Peyton Meadows, Janice Hill, Melissa Black, Brad Thompson, Shelby Seal, Katie Daravan, Augie Beamborn. All right.
Sounds like
Mary
an alien
Alvarez.
name. This is Beanborn. He's from Planet Clack Attack.
Mary Alvarez, Gunter Drywall. Find them if you're in your area. Jennifer with one N. Nicholas Roberts, Savannah with no last name. Juan J. Melendez Jr., Dylan with no last name. Thomas Gonzalez, Tomas Gonzalez, Casey Hankerson, Veronica Zukova, Hope Devoid. Jennifer Schaus, Mama Kell, Vincent Trollia, Daniel Mathis, Jacqueline Fenton, Laura with no last name, Lindsay Frappier, Jordan Heck, Lori Kessler, Jack Cunningham, Jessica Hansel, like Gretel, Rachel Hammond, Jeremiah McMillan, Sheila Hubbard, Alan with no last name, Todd with no last name, Marcus with no last name, Toe Mama 2789, No, that's Chuck Jaster. Jaster? Elizabeth? Nope, that's Alexis. Gallagher. Emily with no last name. Claire Cameron. Jasmine Jones. Jacqueline Hazel. Vanessa Apriliano. CG Starner. Seehee maybe. Ben Cook. Boner yogurt. Disgusting.
Ew.
How dare you? Julie Phillips. Belle Kuhn. Eric Milo. Aaron Shipley, Barbara with no last name, Leanne Nickel, maybe it's Nickel, Christy with no last name, Dylan with no last name, Brittany Chestnut Robinson, Kevin with no last name, Julie Brooks, Dylan Usher, Chandler Lowe, Jacqueline Mitchell, Danny Lee Tedder, Andrew King, Ash with no last name, Shelley Pfeiffer, Tyler with no last name, Ashley Vickery, Chuck Nelson, Ernest Roher, Kate with no last name, Tori Willis, Tamasina Ursich, that's nice. Poopy Pants Pat, you wish. How about you wish? Tony Wilson, Kaylee Renicius, Reinicus. It sounds like something that the guy Willy Wonka would say. John Reagan, Stephanie with no last name, Katie O'Brien, Timothy Blonsky, George. Nope, that's Gregory. Retta Penning, Jess.
Retta Penning.
Heafy. Happy? All right. Kristen with no last name. Right. Dairy Bunch. Krista Croyle.
I gave it the old college try. Let's moving on.
What is Nehemia? Is Nehemia Guerrero?
I got that one time.
Is that Spanish?
I got that on my skin one time. It was really
did you?
rough.
They got a cream? Or is it a pill?
Yeah,
or is it a shot?
I had to rub a cream on it.
You got to let it peel. Ashley Hogan, Rhett McWright, James Perkins, J.S., the letters J and S, Hippie Kate, Julie O'Leary, Helena Brooks, Lance Coyle, Mike Hansen, Jenny Kuhnwald, Sean Heavey, Mac with no last name, Blue Loon, Anthony C., Katie Bell, Stephanie H., Rebecca Simons, Joshua Young, Madeline Leader, Kelly Witterburn Cox, Stephanie LeMay, Deborah Morellis, Carrie Camp, Maddie with no last name, Kendra Lang, Hippie Chick, Abby Galentine, Aiden D'Agostino, Susan with no last name, Katie Cook, Rachel Shaw, Rebecca Trimble, Glenn Webster, Ina Zudelina, Leandra Davis, Catherine Binns, Stephanie Mafia. That's two F's. That's not Mafia. Eric Lundberg, Charlie with no last name, Kevin Hudson, what is this? Krales, Borden, Nick and Sarah Ludland, Chelsea Marshall, Robin Weaver, Joe Crosby. Oh, that is Cosby. Joe. Whew. Jesus. Brianna Fitzgerald, Megan Andrews, Corey with no last name, Russell Belcher, also not a good one, Danny Belusi, Carrie Wheeler, Mandy Burley, or Burl, that might be Milton's kid, Bex with no last name.
Tell me about his cock.
It's huge. Stefan Lipinski, Steven perhaps, Max Fancy Monster. Monsters up, plural, Jesus. Nancy Gear, spelled like Richard. Tammy Grand Prix, Toby Larone, Jackie Babcock, Aaron Louise. What is this? Javensky? Hey, it's Yavensky. That's what that is, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Anna, it's got to be pronounced with the Espanol, right? Havensky or Yavensky. Anyway, Melissa Thompson, Anna Arceo, Fred Dameron, Apocalypse. I don't fucking know. Patrice Littleton, White Chocolate, Captain Morgan, probably two people that don't exist. Joseph Guerra, Phil Candell, Laura Maffei, John Callis. That's a weird way of spelling Callis. Mr. Blakey. Okay, probably. Okay. Taylor Brandon, Ryan Brown, John and Jimmy, Joyce Reggie with no E, Sam with no last name, S and B. SB, Margaret Lytle, Veronica Bailey, Patrick Galloway, Charles Blasner, Norma Macias, Ellen Forte, Elisa with no last name, Daddy Warbucks. Nice. You spent some of it on us. Thank you. Haley E. Justin with no last name, Melissa Kendrick, Matt Heyer, Melissa with no last name, Mary McNeely, Nikia Stewart, Big Bar, Brittany, what is that? the T and the Y are next to each other. It's got to be Brittany Farley. John, it's not Britant, right? John Michael, so. Kelly with no last name, Jack B, Jersey Daler, Lene. Oh, fuck this. Beach.
Oh, that's a weird last name.
Beachawish? Bashawish. Lena. Whoa. There's no fucking way I'm getting that right. Shannon Grieg, Greg maybe. Frog Priest. Tina Bean, 61. Paige with no last name. Emo Dad. Jay Bode, Vicky McGill, Corey Jenkins, Andrew Cunningham, Amy Dye, Christy with no last name, Becca Newberry, JD, Parma Sean, Emily Tilton, Teresa 9, Joe Parker, C. Brake, Steph Carter, Spider Bell C, Don Granenko, Jackie McCabe, Virginie Borgi. Virginie, is that right?
Virginie, get on over here.
Come here, Virginie.
Virginie, dinner gonna be ready soon.
My lap's warm. Laura Backen-Jones, Will with no last name, Whitney Weisgerber, Emily Osman, Turtle Angel 94, Samantha Orbaker, Cheryl with no last name, Patricia Hensley, Tyler Winslet, Rowan with no last name, Flower Girl JC, Kristen Ray, Curry Badger, Emily Struthers, Deborah Blandon, Sarah Barchman, Carissa Van Zant. I hope that's little Stevie's daughter or something. Jamie
Give
Lynch.
Give me E Street bad money.
Anybody. Jeff Gascon, James Hall, Jay Stoddard, Brian Rockwell, Chimetals, Tanya Ratcliffe, Hunter Peterson, Sierra Slater, who would do that? Azula with no last name, Anna Cheryl Man, Riley Josephine, Amanda Rowe, Tabby O'Connell, Joe Case, Joshua Heron, Catherine Birch, Trisha Waltz, Jesse Sargent, Samantha Von Gunden, Michael Weebush, Kelsey Peterson, Ryan Brown, Amanda P., Angela McCauley, Jiffy with no last name, Deja or Daisy. Oh, it's Daisy Polino, Natasha Murray, Holler and Holly. God damn it. At the very end, are you fucking Holler and Holly and all of our patrons? You're the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. You beautiful, wonderful, fantastic bastards. We love you so much. Keep signing up. Enjoy the ad-free. Enjoy the bonus content. If you want to get a hold of either one of us, very easy to do that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yeah.
Drop-down menu takes you anywhere you want to go. So keep coming back and seeing us more serial killing madness next week.
Can't wait.
Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.